Hello, and welcome. It's Trucking Answers. It's 12:30 Eastern Daylight Savings Time. Finally is back. Can we stop changing the clocks? I'd appreciate that, politicians. All right, so thanks for being here. Hey, what happened to the Convoy? Remember them? Remember those 10 dudes or whatever? Yeah, what's up with that? There was a 73 vehicle accident in Pennsylvania. Can we space it out a little bit? There should be 73 tickets that were written, but probably not. Road check's coming up in May. Hey, Matt's is coming up next week. Can you believe it? We're going to be pushing Matt's hard here. I hope everybody will show up at the Mid-America Truck Show. They haven't had it in a couple of years. It is for sure on this year. It will not be canceled, they said, unless the governor makes them cancel it. Do you prefer a diesel or battery APU? There was a survey. I got some fuel prices, and they're not great. So, although less than I actually thought, the average price is less than I thought it was. I'm very surprised by that. And, of course, traffic and weather on the twos here. It's 55 degrees. It's sunny. It's beautiful here today in Lafayette, Indiana. We expect 70 coming up this week, so get ready for that. Get your flip-flops and shorts ready. Joan Harper was first the other day, right on the ball. Appreciate it. Today, George H.W. Bush and Glitter Sparkle up first today. Hello there. Trucker Hershey's here on home time, but not at home. So interesting. Rednet Trucker, hello. Nice weather in California. Most of the country getting nicer. It's about time. I would say it's about time. Daniel, hello from North Carolina. Hello there. What's going on? George Wilson is here today. Yeah, we're good from whatever time zone. Where is everybody? I don't know what's going on. The time keeps changing. I just fixed all the clocks, then I had to go fix them all. Some fix themselves, some don't. Mostly just appliances, right? You're really not changing a clock anymore. You're just changing an appliance. Gear Jammers here. Let's see. TL Travels from Florida. Sunny and cold. Good. About time you get some cold weather. James Morrow from Tampa. We're at 74. We're catching up to you. It's supposed to be 71 here later this week. Captain Cleaner Wiener is here. Aviator Trucker. Hello there. The Monday chant. Yeah, that's what it should be, right? Greetings from Speedy Delivery Tankless, where we get there, when we get there, or whenever. Columbia, George. Hello. What's happening? TL Travels. Yeah, I hear about that moving company in Florida. That owner's got arrested for making profiles to get people to do business and hold their property ransom. That's every moving company. All right. So there may be one decent moving company somewhere in the country. I would never use a moving company. Never. All right. I wouldn't. I will burn my stuff before I send it to a moving company. Anything that doesn't fit in the back of a small U-Haul stays or gets tossed. No way. Besides, why am I going to pay $4,000 to move $600 of stuff anyway? So I will not use a moving company just for this reason. They all do this. That's what I think. Wiener Master's getting his makeup done and Sierra England shirt. Nice. Yes, I wish they would give me a shirt. Good morning. Well, maybe they'll give me one at the show. Good morning, everyone from the middle of nowhere in California in 395. All right, Kelly. Nice. Everybody's out there in California today. Anybody going to work for the big over-the-road companies in Florida probably just get juiced. Nice if that early. That's super good. Do they have the Mid-America Truck Show? Not yet. Not yet. Let's see. I've got a thing for them. There it is. Here it comes to Louisville. Be there. All right. Be there. We'll see everybody at the truck show. It's the 50th anniversary of the truck show. It's too early for wieners. I'm stuck in a time zone. It's never too early for a wiener. Absolutely not. Or too late, right? As long as it's after midnight, you're okay, which it is somewhere. Creature 937 Garage Door Trucker, hello there. Dylan, happy Monday. Silver, it's the highlight of your day. That's pretty sad. Yeah, I thought, well, what the heck? So now I guess because of that, I'm going to have to post this for myself, which I don't know where it went off to. Boy, I have too many these things over here. So we will get to this right here momentarily. I don't know where it went. See, this was going to be funny. Oh, there it is. Okay. And not really that funny, but because of that, right? If you need assistance, call this phone number 24 hours a day. All right. So I'm going to have to call that here if I see another message like that. Yikes. That's bringing me down. Beautiful day, Joan. Yeah, I know. It's great out today. Any day you get up, though, is really another good day. Hello from Tennessee, Chicken Holler to Skateboarder. Free tickets at Truck Stops for the Truck Show at the Register, Truck Hershey. All right. I didn't know they did that. I guess like the car show, if everybody remembers going to the Chicago Auto Show. You'd go down to your local dealer and get tickets. So, yeah, otherwise, if you order them from the Truck Show now, they're $10. All right, as much as I want everybody to come, try and get a free ticket. So, Luke, they lied to me again, told me the load's 26.8 and it's 41.5. If you're a company driver, I don't know what you do about that. But if you own the truck, I would get more money out of them, to be honest with you, because don't you have a rate agreement or a rate con thing? And I'll tell you didn't agree to that. I personally would put the squeeze on him for more money. Really. Pat, preach it. I'm trying to. JP, great quote. Thank you very much. If you're injured in a big truck wreck, call the Hammer. Oh, he's always ready to take your call 24 hours a day. They'll even send somebody to meet you at the hospital, and that's pretty nice of them. You're early. Hey, I try to be on time. Trying to be on time. I'm only early because you don't change your time like the rest of us civilized people. I can't wait until Matt's shown. Yeah, it's going to be a great show. They haven't had Matt's for years. All right, it's all the truck drivers are waiting. I understand there's going to be a limbo competition there, so that should be pretty fun too. Let's see, J Solo 254CL, which is a very hard YouTube name. Shout out to the lease and owner operators taking a beating with these diesel prices. If you have a good surcharge and a highly efficient truck, fuel shouldn't be any problem. At about $8 to $9 a gallon, fuel becomes free. So, got to ride home as you listen to the replay. That's awesome. Hitching the rides. Pat, nice kitty. Oh, yeah. She's back here snoozing today. Yikes. James, hey, Mark, and everybody off this week had a colonoscopy this morning, flying to Dallas tomorrow. Wow. Yeah, they keep wanting me to get that, and I'm like, why? I'm so young. But you have to take 3 days off of work, so we'll see how that goes, possibly later this year. Ansel and Penelope, Rain Blossom Smith, hello there. This show's the best part of Monday. I appreciate that. Now, see, that brought my spirits back up. John M., Mark, will your theme music play prior to your entry to make your speech? I was thinking of something from Survivor. Unfortunately, I can't get the license to play Survivor music, so there'll likely just be something a cappella. And I'll be coming out of the floor, just lifted from either from the floor or overhead on some kind of wire system. If you drive a Volvo, sandals are always ready. I think they come with it, don't they? They provide sandals for you, and you're always required to have your brights on when you have a Volvo, no matter what day or night. It doesn't matter. Parked. It doesn't matter. Leave them on, especially if you're backing in or parked. JP, good morning, Mark. I'm just south of you heading to Fort Wayne with a General Mills load from Albuquerque. Wow, what does General Mills make in Albuquerque? Some kind of dog food or whatever? What do they make out of there? Nice. Fort Wayne. I wonder what's out there. The GM plant. That's always what I think at Fort Wayne. It's a gigantic pickup truck plant, so I'm sure they have other things. Chicken Hunt, a skateboarder. Looking forward to Matt's. I've been trying to bring my grandfather for 2 years. He had hip replacement, but is doing good and looking forward to it. Yeah, that's awesome. Now, there's a lot of walking. A lot of walking. There's numerous buildings. So if he needs it, you may want to bring a wheelchair or something in case he need, or some kind of, at least a walker with a seat in it, because there is a lot of walking. Lots. Danny, I'm glad. All right. Patrick, 55 in Cedar Rapids. Isn't it a great day? It's a great day to be out in shorts. I won't be, but some people will be. We're heading from Cheyenne, Wyoming. Wow. Hauling from Cheyenne. Wow. I never pick anything up out there. Everything delivers there, and then you got to go 5 hours to pick anything up. Kent P., good afternoon, Superstar. And Grace, I think you have that reversed. Certainly. Hailing. It could be hailing or hauling. Danny, I meant to say I'm leaving Pennsylvania on the way to Wisconsin, the hometown. All right. On the way to Wisconsin. Cheese curds on the way. Those owners are facing 300 years at $6.3 million. Nothing will happen to them. Right? What happens to these movers? Nothing. This is a common thing. You give your stuff to the mover, and then when they show up, they're like, oh, there was an extra fee or boxing fee or whatever. That's a very common thing. No way. I wouldn't move anything. I'll burn my stuff before I move it. Any update on Hirschbach? No, they're running an ad for Teams JCT. I just saw it today. Aviator Trucker, $1.05. So at JCT for Teams. Now, it didn't say whether it was owner-operators or not. That's usually how it's been there. $1.05 for company Teams, that's pretty good. So in California, picking up a single pallet going to Maryland. Wow. I'm only assuming it's a good paying load. It doesn't matter to me as a company driver. That's true. That company's making a ton. Moving a pallet, they're charging truckload rate on that load. I'm sure on a full pallet. But right, you don't care. Exactly. Kind of like the fuel price. It's high, but doesn't bother me. Dylan can't wait for the truck show. Fiance takes her CDL test this Wednesday. Wow, she can parade around with her new license and be like the rest of the drivers there. Now remember, once she passes her test, there's no more showers or anything like that. She needs to start smoking immediately and wear flip-flops. We might stop by Thursday afternoon, but we'll be there all day Friday. Chicken Holler. All right, I'll be there. Should be there by noon Friday at the truck show. Paul, there's not a lot that goes on Thursday. The last time I moved and rented a Ryder truck, like you, I'll donate before moving anything else. Paul Harris, right. Yeah, I mean a U-Haul, rental, Ryder, Penske, something. I'll get it in my own truck. What doesn't fit in that is done. Because I'm not going to get held hostage by these movers who wreck your stuff and all that. And it's not like I'm moving, artwork or whatever exactly that, just get whatever can fit in a truck and just buy new stuff. That's what I think. It's almost just as cheap because they're going to hold you hostage for the money anyways. So just do it that way. In Joliet, Illinois, Joliet Road is going to have lane closures through the summer when the bridge is being widened and reworked. That's great. 465's down to 45 miles an hour in Indianapolis now, around where I-69 meets it on the top side. That's good because downtown it's closed, so you have to take the bypass. Now the bypass has construction. Who thinks about this stuff? Pat, what are you flying? Hey, Mark, it's Mr. Plow. What's going on? Dario got into a car wreck on the way home from church yesterday. My car's totaled. That stinks. It stinks and good, I guess. As long as nobody's injured, you get retail. So look that retail value up at KBB. That's your price for insurance. And then you're going to be buying a car that's expensive. Unless you got another car. That would work out really good. It's Mr. Palm, by the way. Where do you work? Well, that's a good thing. I try to keep them on the down low so that they don't bother me in the videos. And I can pretty much say what I want that way. Yikes. And then also, then they don't bother you. You can say what you want in your videos. And I also don't recruit for the place. So let them go get their own drivers, which they run ads all the time. So they can go try and find their own people. Works around better. You're wandering around on Nimbus. What's going on Nimbus? Are we having a dance competition today? I always like the dance competition. It's like 2 minutes, but it takes 14 minutes to get there because I'm always on the other side of the universe generally. Chicken Holiday Skateboard. I took my new ELDT for hazmat test last week online. It's a joke, just a way to make money. I figured it would be. Fingerprint next week and take the test soon as the results come back. Yeah, it's a huge process, and it really is kind of a joke. Somebody that's going to, this will stop terrorism. Look, somebody that's going to be a terrorist isn't going to go through all that trouble just to get a hazmat to go do something. Why wouldn't they just steal a tanker truck from somewhere or whatever and take it? I mean, come on. Stupidest thing. Crusty, trusty. Mark, been wondering, JL Travel's been working my for the past 2 weeks, and I've rose to 88 subs. All right. I'm doing my best at growing the channel naturally and organically, so I don't do anything to get into trouble with YouTube. That's the way to do it. Don't go buy. YouTube's got all that down. Do not buy subs or anything like that. Don't do any of that. Right? That's the way to do it. The Anime Trucker. Hello, I'm still alive. All right. Hopefully quitting Western Express. Yes, I hope so too. I hope that for everyone that's working there. Several posts explaining how I've been royally hosed by them incoming. All right. I'm waiting for that. I can't imagine what it is. I'm not going to wash my feet in the sink. I'm just going to wipe them on the mats. Right. That's the thing. They have foot washing sinks there at Mats, I think, to make everybody feel welcome. Volvo makes a nice car, but I don't know about the trucks. The problem, J Trucking, the car, too complicated. S90, the engine is supercharged and turbocharged. So keeping that thing long term, I don't think so. I mean, it's so complicated. I'll agree with you. Car, super nice, right? Minimalistic inside, like it. But I mean, long term, it's just too complicated. Old one's much better. I'll take an old GL wagon or something like that. George Costanza step decks are the most annoying drillers of all. Everything's a puzzle. Skateboards are far easier. Right. You got to figure everything out. I see a mental workout, though. Mental. General Mills is also GM. Always going to That's right. It is the GM plant. I think they make Albuquerque turkeys. Ha. That was the name of a band I had in 7th grade. How many companies will be there? Hundreds. Oh, well over 100. Easily. Probably more. And they're all in one room, which is good. So you can just go up and down the aisles if you want to do that. Company. Get a bag and collect all pens, papers, refrigerator magnets, all that. If you think about it, egg salad is really chicken salad. Ha! That is true, really. Wrong, Roger Penske. Wrong login. Car totaled. Oh. Hurt bad by the airbag, but nothing broken. Car came from behind me. Well, you may need to call the hammer. If you are injured, did you see a doctor or whatever? Seriously, I mean, you should see a doctor if necessary. You've had some wreckage problems lately. That can be a real problem. Call the hammer. Or Sam Nunn. He's here, though, I guess. Where do I work? We just went over that. You were just a second late on it, JL Travels Anime Trucker. There hasn't been any news that I read about Western Express, but if I do, I'll cover it. They should just be in the news every day. Worst company ever. If you wear it, make it a parrot. Always keep something on your head. Oh, and the truck show will just be replete with people with headsets on. I think it's hilarious. There'll be hundreds of drivers walking around with a headset on. Usually with the microphone up. Also, they bend it up so it's up, and they're walking in case they get an important call. The thing about a colonoscopy, the procedure's easy. Go to sleep and let them have their way with you. It's the day before that leads to the crappy side. Can't be. Yeah, my wife had one, and so I've talked to her about it. But, the day before, basically, you have to have the day off because you drink this wonderful liquid that you buy at the store called Miralax. Then the day of, you can't go to work. And really, she said, if you don't have access to a bathroom the day after, you should really be off of work also, just in case. So you're looking at 3 days off of work for a simple procedure. And they did that on The Office. I think that was hilarious when Michael Scotty brings in, what's his face? I can't think of his name right. Into the office and asks him about colon. He's, I'm going to have a colonoscopy. Can you tell me what should I do to make it more pleasurable? He asked what's his face in the back. Super funny. It would be even funny if I explained it better. I'm not sure what the load is. A bike lane dropping hooks, so I'm not sure. Maybe packaging or something. Wonder how many companies started regulating idling more speed to save fuel. I haven't heard of anybody yet. I've asked some people and haven't heard of anything. They're not doing anything here about it. So nice. They could, of course. And although they really already regulate it, the truck doesn't idle. JCT's 100% fleece purchase, so that $1.05 is split for teams. You think so then? So you don't think they have any company drivers? It didn't really say it, son. I thought, $1.05 is no kind of money today. Jose, hey, Mark. Hey, what's going on? Unless they get like a $2 fuel surcharge. When you first get your CDL, you're required to get a cowboy hat, cowboy boots, and one of those big heavyweight champion belt buckles. Oh, you always got to have the belt buckle going on. You also need a wallet that is attached to a chain that is then attached to your belt. So you can pull that thing out. Absolutely. The prep to do colonoscopy is not worth it, George Wilson. Yeah, the wife didn't find it that pleasurable. So instead of paying 2 men in a truck for movers, just pay 2 men in the manhole. You can actually rent people from U-Haul. So if you go into U-Haul, you can get boxes and a U-Haul and all that. You can actually get people from them too. You can sign up for that, and then when you show up, then people show up too, and you pay them whatever, $10 or $20 an hour. I don't remember what it was, but then people will help you load and unload your stuff if you want to do that. No way am I paying movers to do it. No way. No, I agree about the movers. I only move my own stuff. Chris, I totally agree. I'm not paying $3,000-$4,000 to move $750 of stuff. Ever heard of a company called Ozark? Sure. Drop a hook. Oh, okay. So, either way. Hope you're okay, Roger Penske. Yeah, that's not great. What kind of car was it? I'm most curious about that, too. Year, make, and model. Looking for the big bosses. Oh, all right. So no dance party. That was always annoying when you had to do so many big bosses or whatever. They're not always around. I always got to go way out there and then up that hill, and they're back in there. Too annoying. Going on bypass around Indianapolis now, yeah, you're right, like destruction everywhere. JP, I know. Yeah, so downtown Indianapolis, for those of you that don't know, is closed. 6570 split downtown is closed. You have to go around if you're going through town. Now, they have construction on the 465 bypass, even though all the traffic is routed around to the bypass. Complete stupidity. When I was working over the road for a company, allowed me to use the 53-foot van reefer to move my house. I showed up, I paid for the fuel. That's pretty good. That's really nice of them. Most places would not do that. They would never allow you to do it here. And hey, that's worth it. You can get all your stuff, move it in your own truck. I'm in. Mark works for Allied Van Lines. Captain Cleaner Wiener. While my 3 days at North American were enough for me in the moving business. I think that'll be the last time you'll see me moving anything. Wash the beard and not the feet. Both. Well, the anime trucker, things were going good for a while, and then the real problem started when I brought a load down from southern Georgia. Said they'd empty me to Jacksonville if I could find my way back, and if I could find my way to Miami from there. I don't know what that means. They'd empty me to Jacksonville. I could find my way to Miami. Are they supplying you with a hotel room and food for the truck show? Yeah, that's hilarious. So, no. Truck show is not providing me with anything other than, basically a stage to speak on. No pay. No motel, and no food. So no pay or anything like that. It's all on your own dime. I don't actually know if anybody else gets paid to speak there. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But I know I'm not. So no. It's all on me. Hey, a happy Monday. Fleet Nav Systems is here. What's going on? Finally melting out of the winter. JL Travels, you hear about our female DOT officer that crashed her SUV to save those runners. I did see something about that. Super drunk was 3 times the Florida limit. Officer Shuck is resting at home right now. Yeah, look, people, when you're 3 times the limit like that, hit a police car, that should be it. You don't drive anymore. I mean, I'm very hard on people with that because there's no excuse for it. I don't take any excuses. J Trucking got a Blue Parrot B650. So far, so good. Wow, that's got to be $2 for that. How's it sound? Bet great. Can't stick around, but hope you're all having a good week and stay safe. All right, Fleet Nav Systems. Are you going to have a booth or anything at the truck show at Mid-America? Will you be at Mid-America Truck Show here in just a week? Let's see. Where did we go with that? Right. Mid-America Truck Show right there. Will you be at the Mid-America Truck Show? We can say hello. We'll meet up somewhere down there. So there's that. That's next week. Can you all believe that? You all. Boy, I'm getting more southern by the day. Do not eat your parrot. No. Too expensive. Everyone should take the digit out of their choosing and tap the like button. I appreciate that. Stillhorse 3 days off. Nice. Long weekend? What's up with that? I didn't feel like paying my way home 300 miles from there and 300 miles back, so I told them to keep me out until they could get me actually home. Does Western go? I didn't know you lived that far south. Do they go all that way down there? I mean, can you get a load that far down there? I turned my truck on Sunday and it doesn't shut off until Friday afternoon. Wow. That would be super nice. This truck shuts off in 3 minutes, even in gear. Okay, which I think is stupid. So if you're just sitting there at a light or for some reason you can't move, it'll turn off while you're just sitting there. And you'll have to restart it. They have it set so you cannot run the truck. And that does save them fuel. And they go, well, look, you're not sleeping in it. I'm like, well, sometimes I do. The bunk heater will work. It'll run, but the truck will not run no matter what the temperature is. When are you moving? Whenever I can find a place down there and a decent job that pays anything. The ones around Jasper are just not paying a lot of money. And I just am not a big fan of commuting. You know, Jasper to Evansville is 65 miles each way. I'm working the truck show with 4 people from corporate. They're staying at the Hyatt. I'm staying in my truck. Really? You know what? If they have you go down there, they ought to give you a motel room too. Unless you want to stay in the truck. That's not right. Manholes are not free. That is very true. Jose, anyone ever work for knows of Ozark? All right, yeah, anybody from Ozark? Sometimes we'll get Ozark drivers here. Truck show isn't going to supply you with roller wieners? Nope. Can't be. They're not. Not supplying anything. I got free tickets. They go, look, we'll give you some free tickets to get in. So that was pretty nice of them. But no, other than that, no pay or nothing. You come down on your own dime. Do large places get... The booths in the truck show are super expensive, thousands of dollars. So I don't know what other speakers might get. I don't have any idea about that. But for me, nothing. Get strong armed into running it because it gets me home. Switch with a guy in Georgia for a Miami load and finally get home 3 weeks after I was supposed to get home. My trucker, that seems pretty common for that place. Although that is a common theme in trucking, which I never understood why companies do this. If you have a date to get home, they should get you home no matter what. If once they agree to it, you should get home. Period. Kind of like Variant does, as they say. Variant is very good at that. Aviator truck, I had a colonoscopy and an endoscopy at the same time. And let's see, where did I go? But I told them before they knocked me out, make sure you do the why do that one first? I mean, I don't know what the difference is, to be honest with you, so I'm wondering why would do which one first. Hey, Mark, do we have UFCD merchandise yet? Because I'm on home time on the live show today. Also saw the new Scream movie. It was good. Nice. Haven't seen the new Scream movie. Merch? No merch yet. Been actually practicing for the truck show, so haven't done a lot this week. I only had one video out this week. And no. Nothing yet. All that'll be after the show, really, is what I'm thinking. Not at Matt's this year, a different show next week, but we'll ask for next year. All right, well, we'll see you next year. I go to it every year, half for years, so it just hasn't been around. Whether I'm speaking there or not next year, I'll be there. I guess that will determine on how this year goes and whether I speak there. Mark, in your Matt's talk, will you also be showing lot lizards how to maximize profits? Sure, absolutely. Right, absolutely. We may have one give a talk there. Fuel surcharge is way too low right now. I would feel bad for owner-operators, but it comes with the territory. Fuel surcharge, average price today is $4.85 for diesel, according to the Energy Information Council or whatever, where I look it up. So a good surcharge today should be, let's see, so we're $4.85. It should be based on $1.25. That's $3.60. And it should be at least at 7 miles a gallon. You should get around 51.4 cents today. Surcharge should be the surcharge. All right, so that would keep you at $1.25. That's what the surcharge should be right around now. Around 51.4, right in there would be a decent surcharge to get. So absolutely. I don't know what the surcharges are. Each company can have it different. If it's set up at 6 miles a gallon, it'd be even higher than that. But it should be in the 50s or so cent range. Paul Vines, hello, safe travels. Kevin made it. All right. Do you know the real difference? The taste. Oh, nice. Okay. I didn't get that. Okay, now I know what they're doing. Right. So they're basically going in both ways. Kind of like the manhole. Mike Scott, don't forget you're on a real trucker unless you have a long hood with a gazillion lights. You got to have the lights. If you don't have lights, you don't make any money. The fancy chrome, especially the bumper feelers, stick shifter up to the ceiling. If it's not scratching the ceiling, you ain't shifting. And the seats at full right, and the seats always got to be on the floor. What time are you speaking? Dylan Benson. I will be at the truck show March 26th at 11:15 a.m. local time at the Pro Talk stage in the East Wing for 1 hour, or however long they let me speak before I get the hook and they grab me and throw me out of there. Who asked this guy to show up? Somebody's going to get fired. I'm on jobs that pay more than where I'm at, but commute is 30 more miles, so I'll pass on it. J Trucking. See, now that depends. Depends how much more it is and what kind of car you have, that kind of thing. So if it's a 50% pay increase and you have, a Metro or something, that might be one thing. It just depends. But for me, where I'm moving to, the best jobs are in Evansville. I'm looking at 65 miles each way. That's a lot of miles to put in your car every day. WRRE is the show. What is that show? Please give Roy a penny, John. Absolutely right. I'm also not getting paid detention time for nearly 3 days because it's a big customer and they like to brown nose them to keep them happy. You need to tell them, look, that's between you and them. I don't have a deal with this customer. I have a deal with you. But here's the other question, I guess, because I don't know it. What is Western Express policy on detention pay? Okay, that's what you should get paid. Whatever basically you agree to when you go to work there. After this long, you get this much money. That's what you should get. That it's their big customer, I don't care. I don't care if the shipper pays the carrier. That isn't my problem. As an employee, I get paid. That's how I think you need to look at it. That's their deal. If they want to let them go on the pay, that's fine. I don't care. At the truck shows, it true the roller we understand will be set up right next to Sierra England. Yes. They come out 3 at a time there. Mike Scott, I saw an Ozark crunched under the Grant Street Bridge that goes to the Gary Steelworks. Sweet. They've been having problems in New York State. They wanted everybody to announce, please. And the New York Parkway system is not for semis. They had 2 just in the last couple of days crash under one. They showed a picture of one. The bridge overpass, it shows 7 feet 10 inches is the sign, and there's a truck halfway stuck under it. Nice. So yeah, let's see. And I lost my spot. Boy, you just roll the wheel a little bit and you lose your spot. Next Monday, we'll make 6 months. We've already been putting in applications. Yeah, it's time to get out of there. I'm curious, what is their policy on detention, though? What is the policy on detention if you sit somewhere 3 days? I cannot imagine sitting 3 days at a customer. When a company takes priority over fuel savings over my comfort, I've saved them a lot of fuel and I quit Aviator Trucker. I agree. If it comes down to where, you can't idle anymore or, we're not going to provide an APU for your comfort, then no. That's part of them doing business is keeping the driver comfortable. Plus, why would you want the driver to not be comfortable, to not get a good night's sleep? That always seems stupid. $5.50 for diesel in Georgia. Nice. It's in the low 5s here in Indiana. And I saw that the national average is $4.85. I'm like, where is it really low? But that's the national average as of today. Surcharge 51 cents based on 7 miles per gallon. Perfect. That's exactly where it should be. Right. That's right where it should be. So a driver getting 51 cents is not paying much for fuel. The thing is, if you're getting 8 miles a gallon like you should be, okay, so 51 cents, let's do some more math here. Right, times 8, you're getting 408 off a gallon. If it's 485, right, 485, 485 times 8, you're getting 408 off a gallon. If it's 485, right, 485 times 8, you're getting 408 off a gallon. If it's 485, right, 485 times 8, you're getting 408 off a gallon. If it's 485, right, 485 times 8, you're getting 408 off a gallon. If it's 485, right, 485 times 8, you're getting 408 off a gallon. If it's 485, right, 485 times 8, you're getting 408 off a gallon. If it's 485, right, 485 times 8, you're getting 408 off a gallon. If it's 485, right, 485 times 8, you're getting 408 off a gallon. If it's 485, right, 485 times 8, you're getting 408 off a gallon. If it's 485, right, 485 times 8, you're getting 408 off a gallon. If it's 485, right, 485 times 8, you're getting 408 off a gallon. If it's 485, right, 485 you are actually only paying 77 cents a gallon at 8 miles to the gallon if you're getting a 51-cent fuel surcharge and paying $4.85 at the pump. And so if you get a discount or whatever, that's even better. So fuel, right, shouldn't really be a problem for an owner-operator that doesn't have, a 1983 Pete, with long-nosed Pete getting 4 miles to the gallon, unless they're getting. But then again, if you get $4 a mile or whatever, run whatever you want, Jelly beans for surcharge. You might need to put them in your tank. Jail travels, I'm back. Had to walk away for a minute. Anyone heard why that 13-year-old Riley Seacrest out, found with that 25-year-old truck driver? I know, I have that down here. So I talked about it on my award-winning podcast as well on Friday. So I didn't know you could even do this on Oculus. So these two meet up on Facebook's Oculus 3D thing. And this 25-year-old truck driver goes and picks up a 13-year-old. And there's a picture of her because she was on like the milk cartons and stuff. She looks 13. And they find her like in the next state. What are we doing? Okay, 13, hello. Okay, no, we don't do that. So, creepo, like I said on there, what they should do is just put him in jail and tell the other prisoners what he did. That's how you take care of that. Roy, let's chip in somebody for the host. I appreciate that. Appreciate it very much. We'll need it to go down to Matt's. So that's exactly where it'll go. But I thought, look, this creepo with this 13-year-old, come on. What are we doing here? I mean, come on. This person's in 7th grade. Planning on going to Matt's on Thursday and Friday. All right, George H.W. Bush. Are they still pretty much setting things up on Thursday? Yeah, Thursday's starts at noon or whatever, and it's the setup day, the opening day. Friday and Saturday are really the big days to go. So those are the best days there. Probably Friday's probably the best day, but Friday, Saturday, because then Saturday people start taking their booths down at 2 o'clock or whatever. New York State has huge signs saying no trucks. They do. All over. No trucks because some of the parkway overpasses are very low. It was built a long time ago. They haven't raised them. No trucks, but yet they stop trucks out there all the time. I assume every truck GPS does not route you down parkways, so I have no idea. Neither of the trucks in the pictures were any mega carrier. They both seem to be like independent trucks, so I've never seen the company before. I'm assuming a Peterbilt city would be on somebody's bucket list, right? Anime trucker. Most customers is 2 hours free, then detention begins. No detention if you show up late. Okay. And some customers don't pay at all. Well, is there a list of places that don't pay? Or does it say you get paid if we get paid? Which is, some companies do that. They'll say, if we get paid, then we'll pay you. Otherwise, we don't pay you. Was just about to talk about that. State police have warned truck drivers to stay off the parkway, which went over on my channel. Where are the truckers going? Yeah, I don't understand it. That's like number one thing. We don't go down the throughways, the parkways there in New York State. The through. You should go on the throughway. Don't go on the parkway. That's the first thing that you learn. And there are a million signs. Every time I'm on 95 in Virginia, I see a trucker pulled over while on express lanes. They do that in Chicago too, right? No trucks in the express lanes. And what happens? There's 50 million trucks in the express lanes. Same thing in Indianapolis. No trucks in the left lane. Policy in Indiana. You cannot be in the far left lane of any road, interstate, that has more than 2 lanes. No matter, even if you're passing, unless you're getting off to the left or the other lanes are closed. And there's trucks there all the time, and they're forever pulled over. Tyrone Beats. I work for a small carrier out of Iowa that shut down today. That stinks. I live in Tennessee and stuck in Washington. They impounded the truck. What program is available to help me get me home? You could go to the St. Christopher Fund, which I don't have a thing here for. Look up the St. Christopher Fund. They will help you get back to your house. So, yeah, that must be a really small carrier where the truck got impounded. Have you had problems getting paid lately? Has that been a problem? The Grand Street Bridge has a big rotating light with an alarm and 12-foot 6-inch signs. Why would Ozark be going into the mill anyway? What are they taking in the mills? Trucking Journeys is here. I've been sat here on Mount Airy, broke down since Saturday. That stinks. International's huge issues. They're getting mad that I call every hour or two for an update when I'll get a different truck. Your company should provide you with a different truck if you're going to be there any length of time, or at least a motel and pay. Don't stress the talk. Just stay at the Holiday Inn Express the night before. Problem solved, John. Yeah, of course. It's going to be great. I'm planning on a conga line. That'll get everybody going to get started on it. So that'll get the juices flowing there. There are tailgate parties at Matt's. Yes, that's true. I was told that parkways were early attempts at interstates. I don't know how truthful that is. Maybe. For cars. And maybe when trucks were shorter. So now I've annoyed them into giving me extra breakdown pay and getting a rental car to a new truck. That's what they should do. You really shouldn't have to annoy them to that. Why would I want a driver sitting for days at a motel? I get it's a weekend, but now if they're not going to get the truck ready, hey, let's head over to Enterprise. They'll pick you up. It was $1 an hour more, and my work vehicle's F-150 gets 20. Okay, so for $1 an hour, no. So that's not a bigger raise, but at some point, it is enough money to change. But for $1, probably not. For $40, you're going to put that in the truck. 25-year-old takes off with my 14-year-old. He never makes a trial. I'm going to jail. Kept it clean and Wiener. Yeah, I don't understand it. I just don't get it. Of course, she went out. I guess they were talking on this Oculus thing, and then he comes over and meets her. I'm here. She takes off with him, and they're met in Utah, and then they get caught in Wyoming. So she's unharmed, but he's got problems. I mean, what are we doing here? And that's what I want to do, is spend a bunch of days with a 13-year-old. That sounds like a great deal, too. Do you know anything about a company called Z? I see Z all the time. Blues Trucker. I do see Z trucks, and they advertise constantly. John Zablack, stay off the Taconic in New York State. Which one is that? The Anime Trucker, when you get assigned the load, it says detention is payable or not. Oh, nice. But I'll hopefully not have to worry about that soon. I have a job closer to home. Yeah, I mean, that kind of place. Why? See, I never understood that from companies. Why is that the employee's problem? At Western or any other place that has employees. And this is not just a Western Express problem. That you don't get paid from the shipper or receiver, that's not my problem. I'm an employee. I expect to get paid from you, my employer. You go figure out how to go get the money from somebody. Why do I have to eat that money? Juan, do you think the lot lizards need a ticker or permit to be at Matt's parking lot? They'll have to pay to park like everybody else. Yes. GP Transco's here. Good afternoon. Hello. We beat the truck show, GP Transco? Exactly, Captain Cleaner Rainer. Just take off with my daughter and you're going to deal with me. Exactly. I mean, what are we thinking here? I think the way we deal with him now, though, is to tell the other prisoners what he did. It's funny because in prison, there's like, they don't like it, which is kind of hilarious. You can't like rob old ladies. You can't do anything with kids. So that they don't like, Just tell the other prisoners. I haven't been paid for the past 2 weeks. That's a problem. They told me not to worry. Now I'm stuck. Yes, I would be very worried. You're never going to see that pay. Just so you know, file with the state. You probably won't see it. And I will tell you, always have enough money to get home. This is for the future. From the farthest point away in the country back to your house. So you need to always have access to a few $100 at least so you can get back home. As soon as you're not paid and they don't pay you, they don't solve it immediately, you should leave because they don't have any money. Only thing I see the most in Indiana is the hammer. I mean, hundreds of signs. I know he's got every billboard. If you've been hit, call the hammer. He'll work with you. He will send somebody to your hospital room to talk to you. I always wanted to start my day at the Ozark way. I really don't know much about Ozark. Just take your time and research them. Will you confront Crete? What do I have to confront Crete about at Matt's? I'm here to confront you. I will ask questions to Crete. I'll try that program. Hopefully that will work. If not, I have my Glock 40, so I'll get money to get home one way or another. Well, I don't know about that. I don't think that's a great way to get money to get home. But that is one way to get back. The St. Christopher Fund has a fund for that kind of thing. I tried my best to stop brother-in-law from going to Werner, but he didn't listen. And is in Dallas now and had to pay $15 a night for his own room. Why? But at least he listened to me and took his own car. Always take your own car to orientation if you can, because otherwise you're stuck. You can always leave. So they're saying for an extra $15 a night, you don't have to have a roommate? Is that the kind of thing? See, I don't like places giving you a roommate. I'd just like to point out here at Smith, they are paying 65 cents for 2 weeks out and only taking weekdays off. Just 2 years ago, that was what a team was paid. Pay is really increasing. That is true. A couple years ago, we'd be like, wow, 65 cents, that's team pay. John, 14-year-old, that was legal in Canada a few years ago. Yikes. Well, this girl, I was going to say woman, was 13, and that is not legal in the United States. So, not great. Adi Enthusiasm, good night from Indonesia. All right, what time is it in Indonesia? I have an idea. Companies pay drivers $20 a day for on-duty time for fueling inspections. They should pay you for all your time, and then they don't have any problems with that. This is all part of work, and so you should get paid. But here, where we have this driver sitting, and where I love Western Express sends a message whether you'll get detention or not at a place in advance. I mean, come on. That isn't my problem. That's their problem. Same thing on Chicago 294. No trucks in 2 left lanes. Correct. Right, 2 lanes only. But then you got CR England doing 58 and all the UPS doing 58 and a half in the other lane and not a worry in the world making $50 an hour. Well, the England driver's not, but right. That doesn't seem to work in Indianapolis. I know there are drivers making hourly that are cruising through Indianapolis, which I never understand. I thought the hourly pay would actually make people slow down and be safer, but that doesn't seem to be the case. JL Travels, I'm enjoying working full-time at home on my YouTube channel and making it my full-time job. I hate being looked over my shoulder and screaming at me for something that is out of my control. Yeah, working for somebody else pretty much stinks, so I don't really recommend it to anybody. Going back, I would certainly change how that went over. That's partly why, I do evenings, nights, and that kind of thing. There's nobody to bother me. I don't even see anybody. Most days, I don't see anybody. Swift used to say that we pay you if the customer pays you. 10 years later, they paid my car off at that class action. That's true, right? That's true. Swift said it, but a lot of places do say that. Oh, well, if we get paid, we'll pass that on to you. Like, why is that my issue? I'm not part of the contract deal. The 3 guys in a room and hot and smelly, John. But, see, you shouldn't have to pay to get the people out of your room. Roger Penske, my Jewish attorney isn't the Hammer, but he's the Wolf. That's actually his name. Is he the Arizona Wolf? Is that how that works out there? There's like a different one for each one. Look, good. I hope you are okay from that. Rear end accident, never good. They have those at the manhole too, so I totally know what you're saying. I wonder how far I would get with the call to the Hammer. Tell him I was in a truck accident, and then when he thinks he has me on the hook, tell him I'm the truck driver. What do you think? If he thinks he could win, you're the customer for him. J Trucking, yes, it's so he didn't have to share. And the kicker is, okay, Werner owns the bed bugs. He says it's definitely not the greatest. Oh, nice. So it's a Werner-owned place, and you're basically paying Werner for that? That thing is sad. Considering the profits that these companies are making. Shell out for a nice room. I'm not saying they got to put you in the Ritz, but gee whiz. Gustavo, can we also blame the girl's parents for not regulating their daughter online activities? Absolutely. Absolutely, right? Kids, you need to watch kids on this kind of stuff. I actually didn't even know you could talk to people on Oculus, but I don't have any kids to worry about here, so I don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. But I would. All that stuff would go through me, right? It's a benevolent dictatorship when you have kids. It's not a democracy. They don't get a vote in anything. That's how I do it here. Your phone would be monitored by me, all that kind of stuff. So everything would go through me. But I totally agree with you. Even so, though, the parents should do more of that. Some 25-year-old has to be held to account for this. You can't go be picking up 13-year-olds online. Good evening. I woken up by the DOT and offered him a donut, so he left me alone. Hey, here's a donut. Trucking with G3. Tricking with Trucker G3. Here's a donut. Now leave me alone. Oh, spelling is wrong. Oh, the Wolf. Okay, too bad. That would be good, though. Each state has its own thing. If you're going to throw the Chicago area, trucks should be allowed all lanes. It would be more efficient and trucks not needing to stop. They should move trucks away from the right lane. I don't know why they always do that, partly because some of them go so slow, but I agree with you. Get them out of the right lane, especially in Chicago. A lot of the ramps very short. And even on long ramps, people can't seem to get going. Donuts are we pass inspections. I totally agree. It is how I get into places. Every once in a while I take donuts where I'm going to the place. Hey, so here's some donuts. And then everybody knows you when you go to the same place every day. I think it works. Danny, I saw yesterday it was $5.99 for cash and $6.04 for credit. Wow. I haven't seen 6 yet. Not out here. Glad I'm not slapping the card down for that. Shout out to Johnny from GP Transco. Had a nice conversation with him earlier this morning. Nice guy, straightforward, no smoke and mirrors. If you're interested in making a change, he'll answer any questions. That's always been the thing at GP Transco, which is different than most places. They answer your questions. It's sad that we have to say that in trucking that, hey, here's a company that'll actually answer your questions. But it is true. Hopefully my boss calls him soon and we can come to Gemini Transport's too late. We're down 2 drivers, so he might get saved. Wow. I would think they would have more drivers there. Led by the creed, if you don't pay, I don't stay. That's true. Is that lawyer hungry like the wolf? Wow. Does he have hair like the people singing that? Take burrito to the loaders in Laredo and you'll be loaded in 5 minutes. I don't know about that. In Laredo, they already have access to burritos. They hand you tamales and burritos. I forever love that. You're forever down there getting tamales and stuff that you can't get anywhere else. Yeah. I think that places you go all the time to make a good impression and stuff when you show up, here's donuts or whatever, and just every once in a while bring something in, and then they remember you. A lot of times at night, they will move my trailer. Instead of going and parking it somewhere, depending on who it is there, they'll roll it right up to the gate for me. They go, oh, yeah, it's out by the gate. We just left it there. And that kind of stuff, that saves me a couple minutes here, a couple minutes there. You know, you don't realize when that, but over a year's time, you know, you can save hours and hours of time just with niceties like that. JL Travels, hey, Mark, did you hear about Wilson Logistics going autonomous with locomotion relay systems to run from Missouri to Texas? Like I said on my channel, what does Rob Lowe from Prime have to say about this? Yeah, what does Rob Lowe think about all this? We need to ask him. I didn't know you could go Missouri to Texas yet. I automated because of the laws. So I didn't know they were going to do that. But maybe they have a deal because, you know, Wilson is basically Prime. So absolutely. No, I didn't see that they're going to do that. How are they going to boot out the low-paid drivers that they already have? GP Transco, John's our senior recruiter. He was a driver for about 30 years. And see, that's the thing. When we put drivers into a spot where they can talk to drivers, I think that's a big deal too. When you talk to recruiters at some of these places, it's somebody that's like 19, 20 years old. They're a college student. Dude, we got the best opportunities ever. I'm like, you don't know anything about anything. Fastest way to get unloaded in Laredo is Modelo or Dos Equis, right? What about that? I've done a little extra for my stores, and it does help, J Trucking. I think the places you go all the time, you'll do stuff, and it helps. Like, I'll move a trailer every once in a while for them if they need something like that done, stuff like that. Not all the time. Just, oh, well, you got this other thing. I'm like, I'll go take care of that right now for you. And then later, that comes back to you. You don't ask for any pay for that because that comes back later. Everything works, you know, on the handshake kind of deal. I'm not saying you have to relocate their whole yard, but at places that you go to all the time, if you're nice to them, that stuff comes back to you a lot. He's not a billboard lawyer. He doesn't advertise. He goes by reputation. Oh, okay. Well, I think the reputation of the Hammer speaks for itself on every billboard. Bob, maybe GP can explain why drivers eating any detention time makes sense. What is drivers eating at detention time? That's one of the things I like about John is he's a driver. He knows what we go through, and he's better suited to talk to drivers. You know, companies should always promote people like that want to get promoted. A driver, you're much better off talking to a driver. Music Saint Light. I'm a mechanic for Mega Carrier, and I feel pressure when working because I know the driver's not getting paid when the trailer's getting fixed. Why not? You know, why are they at a company where they're not getting paid? All right, so how about that? You should go to the company and say, hey, why don't you pay this driver? How about that? Yeah, GP Transco, drivers are paid for detention. The manhole's famous for the smell of men enjoying themselves. Look, it's just a happy place where men go to enjoy themselves, you know, and everyone's welcome. Entry only in the rear. Because of a zoning issue. Working at GP Transco is full of respect. Out of all the years I've driven, never had this much respect. I highly recommend coming and working, but only the best will get through the door. They do have a tough policy. You do have to have a year experience and a good driving record. They don't take everybody. I went up there last year. In fact, they only had one person in orientation. So so that was pretty good. And absolutely. I do hear that from a lot of drivers. You know, people will write to me, hey, Mark, you know, GP Transco really seems to respect you here. So, and that is not a paid ad. That is what drivers tell me. I just got a call back from RIST. What is RIST? 2 days, but it got to me. Hiring also. I just want to drop and hook. No luck here. What's RIST? If you go by my YouTube channel, JL Travels, I went over that skyrocketing diesel prices could force smaller companies to go out of business or be bought out by the mega carriers. You know, if they don't have a good fuel surcharge in place, it's going to hurt people. They need to have that already in their contract. I agree. But the rates right now really support the fuel anyways, I think. So say you're getting, you know, $3.18 or whatever, the van rate right now. I think you can roll $5 fuel. I really do. On an efficient truck. Even if that's what your final is, $3.18 or whatever is your final price, you can still make it. Sunny and 60 south of Boston. Carry on, Mark. All right, Tommy Cash. 60, nice. That'll be nice. I'm looking at 70 this week. First time this year. It's going to be great. The Hammer's definitely making money when you see his big complex in Houston. Oh, I haven't seen that one. I know he makes money, but, without him, companies will do whatever they want. So I kind of agree with it. If the Hammer takes a Russian lawyer as a partner, do they become Hammer and Sickle? That'd be pretty funny. Call me in Russia division. Sickle division. I know drivers that will purposely go slow to get more detention time. Gear Jammer. Really? Where are these drivers? Because I don't see them. I never catch up to them. I never pass them. I never find any of these drivers. I can't find hourly drivers going the speed limit. The Ken Allen Law Group is another attorney out of Valparaiso. On top of truck wrecks, he did some driving himself and knows the DOT and FMCSA. Oh, perfect. So he actually knows what he's doing. He doesn't have to hire anybody. Perfect. GP Transco, you have 19 drivers in orientation this week. Wow. That's a big crowd in there. That when I was there, there was one person, that one lonely person in there. 19 drivers. Whew. Did you get some new Volvos in or something? Pink Pussycat motto, poker in the front, liquor someplace else. Oh, nice. Yeah, that's opened up downtown also. Drivers don't have to give any free time before detention pay kicks in at GP Transco. All right. When you go to Matt's, go talk to Steven Transport with a busy signal going. Tell them you're still on hold waiting for an answer. I'm still waiting, you guys. I am going to go ask them. It's like I asked, and you guys refuse to talk to me. So will you talk to me here? People who let their meatloaf should fix the truck yourself. The people who let their meatloaf. A GP Transco detention paid after 2 hours. All right. Part of the reason is what Gear Jammer just said, because people will take advantage of it. They pay for everything you do. Every movement you do, they pay you for it. Everywhere you go, every movement you do. If freight rates go up along with the fuel rate, should driver pay also go up? It should. And it is. Driver pay is certainly going up. I mean, a lot of people are writing in now making $100,000 that we're not doing that 2 years ago. So for many drivers, pay is going up, and I see it advertised everywhere. If you are in, low pay, there's still people in the 40 cents, low 50s. It's time to look around. If you can get a significant raise, it might be worth thinking about going somewhere. Now, not for a penny, 3 cents, but, 10, 15 cents, 20 cents. I see that. If you're at 44 cents, imagine if you got 65 cents. So if you're making 45 cents, imagine you went to 60 cents. How about that? 15 cents a mile. That's a considerable amount of money. That's a lot of money. It could be 3,000 miles. It's $450 a week. That's a Fiesta. You could buy a Fiesta and drive to work in it. Yellow Freight is in trouble again. They got their tails in the slam by the DOJ after getting caught for overcharging the Department of Defense. Yeah, settled. $6 million. I mean, that's less than a lot of these mega carriers settle for. Look, like we had earlier, Swift paid $100 million settlement. So $6 million, probably nothing to Yellow. Sergeant Metalhead. A nice day in Boston. I have a brisket on the smoker. Wow. That is a nice day. Everybody can stop by there and get some brisket. UPS can do 75. I'm constantly passing these guys at 60. Some of them seem to, but they don't all do it. One of them was passing the other one the other day. One UPS going 60, and then this UPS is super passing him. I don't get it. Oh, RIST is a small company, 200 out of Phelps, New York. All right. Yeah, every movement. That would be something at the manhole. Steel Horse has a 7.5 pay raise this year. So far, it's only March. At that rate, you're going to almost double your pay by the end of the year, which probably won't happen. But, I mean, already 7%. Certainly, people in the 40s, 50s need to look around. If you're making on the road $1,000 a week, it's certainly time to call somebody. It's time to call someplace. Just make a few phone calls and see what kind of opportunities you have. Don't give up, years of time. $400 a week is $20,000 a year. If you stayed somewhere 5 years, that's $100,000 extra you can make. That's way a lot of money. Paul Cruz, what's up, Mark? This thing called work got in the way of the important stuff. What? You. All right. Everyone else, hit the like button. I appreciate it. Don't worry, Mark. I told my boss needs to log in on the job training. Yes, absolutely. Our VP of Marketing and Strategy will be at Matt's. All right. Will you have a booth, or is he just like walking around, kind of randomly? Because I think you said you were not going to get a booth because it really wasn't necessarily worth it partially. So will he just be out there with the GP Transco stuff on? If you're a dump driver, the excavating contractors expect the truckers to eat an hour or two a day depending on the job site. Well, let's tell them too bad. I mean, seriously. The only reason they do this is because drivers tolerate it. Tell them, no, we're not doing that. You can go eat whatever you want, but I don't have to eat that, I think. How about that? Expect just to eat an hour. I mean, my employer, especially on a dump thing where you're probably home every day, that ought to be paid. All that kind of stuff should be paid. There shouldn't be this, why don't you go eat an hour pay? I'm like, why don't you go eat a banana? How about that? And I'm sorry I had to say that in front of everybody. 84 watching, only 33 likes. Oh, come on, freeloaders, hit the like button. I like it. I don't always see overturned trailers, but when I do, it's a FedEx double. Yeah, in the wind, ice. Fortunately, there won't be too much more ice. Maybe in a road rage. You see this road rage? Two drivers, I guess, are cutting each other off on the road. They're like, pull over, but one guy stops, the other guy takes off. He doesn't realize the other guy's like an owner-operator. So, absolutely. So they take off. They stop again and start shooting at each other like the Wild West. They both pull guns on each other, start shooting. Nobody hits anybody, of course. And somebody calls the cops, and they both get arrested. Here's the thing. You can't really pull over and start shooting at each other. It's not allowed. So, please do not do that. No boot, just meeting other trucking professionals. All right, well, maybe we'll see them down there. Next week I'll have figured out where I'm going to be on Friday and Saturday at probably 2 p.m. So I'll have them stop by and say hello. Anyone hear about that properly licensed driver, properly licensed, with Cabot Trucking? The fatality crash. The company didn't even have a safety department. It was running a truck that was out of DOT. Yeah, I mean, that was a total mess. They were put out of service, right? Imminent hazard or whatever. Yeah, this guy doesn't have any license. He's got convictions. There, no safety, and they'd had nothing. It was just like they bought a truck and just started hauling freight around. And I wondered, how do they get freight? I thought you need a good record and a safety score and everything. Apparently, you don't need anything. Look with the guy in khaki shorts and teal socks. He'll have the teal GP Transco socks on. Where did you get my Lone Star Grill Smoker? 4 to 16 weeks wait. What is going on with that? What is it? You getting it from Wish? Do they have the electric wheelchair? I can rent it, Matt's. My thumb turned black. What does that mean? I don't know about that. I don't think they rent wheelchairs or anything there. You'd have to bring your own. There's probably a company in town that does rent them. Cannot just shoot at each other? Not allowed? Well, they didn't. Right. They weren't in Chicago, and that's the problem. So they just pull over and start shooting at each other, and one guy just walks away, I guess. And so the cops come pick him up, go get the other driver. Nobody got hit. No trucks got hit. Who knows where the bullets are? Just out whizzing around, I guess. If you're going to have a gun, at least go practice with it so you know what you're doing. You need to tell me you can't shoot at people. Apparently, you can't just pull over and just start shooting. One guy pulls a gun, other guy's gun, shooting. The thing is, nobody's hitting anybody. That's the downside of this. Why can't people be better shots? If you're going to carry a gun, go practice with it so you know what you're doing. You can't just have random bullets flying all over the place. Didn't say what size weapons they were. Probably 22s or something like that. Something embarrassing. That's what I assume. But these are felonies. You can't just discharge a weapon like that. This isn't the manhole. Or you can't just do that. I mean, so these guys are both in for felonies. Then presumably your truck is towed or whatever. Come on. What are we thinking? You got to have more sense than that. Holy mackerel. Hey, what happened to the trucker convoy? Did these guys disappear? Where'd everybody go? They were in the news for a while. People all said, Mark, the mainstream news isn't covering it. Well, it was on CNN. It was on AP. Reuters had it. A local NBC station, a local CBS station. Ted Cruz went driving around with these guys. And what's going on? I mean, are they at some speedway or something, right? Sitting there? What are they doing? Does anybody have some kind of insight into that? GP Transco's Volvos come with flip-flops. All Volvos come with flip-flops automatically, matching flip-flops. So they come right from the factory. They're Swedish, so pretty nice. They also come with a ABBA Gold CD already in the CD player. That fake driver works for Biden and Company. Biden is a truck driver. That is correct. And owns a fake company, too. The shooter works for Hillary. Well, I don't know about anything about that, of course. Hillary, beyond reproach, naturally. But, I don't know anything about that. Joe Biden, though, claims to be a truck driver, so I'll accept that. This is my rifle and this is my gun. Right. We don't want them to go off at the wrong time. And, that's always the first thing of gun safety. Be sure to hit what you're aiming at. I can just see these two dudes. I assume one guy's got like work boots on that are untied. I was like seeing drivers walking around with like they just put their boots on, but they're untied and they're not laced up. So they're just like in the first 3 holes when their laces are flopping around and they got these gigantic pants on. And that guy's walking around and they're filthy, of course, dirty. And the other guy's probably got a tank top on and likely a hat that says Miller or something like that, Stroh's maybe. And they're just out bang, just shooting each other like, the guy with the big mustache, I can't think of from the Looney Tunes. And then they just take off. Oh, well, we didn't hit anybody, so I'm out of bullets. Now they probably show the same cell and end up with a great love story. Oh, this could be like a notebook for truck drivers. Maybe that's it. So it ends up being like a Nicholas Sparks novel. Teal is an option, extra cost. I thought they all came in the color of the truck. Christy, hey Mark, I was wondering if you picked out your unitard, leg warmers, and headband for the interpretive dance portion of your speaking engagement. Well, it'll be something festive that goes along with the show. And that will be because, not enough logging and, really not enough speeches at the truck show will be given in interpretive dance. That's what I'm thinking. You just don't see it done anymore, and I think it needs to come back. This will be after the conga line to get all the blood flowing there. So absolutely, and then we'll go into the interpretive dance portion. And I hope everybody enjoys it. Third thing will get you 10, except in Massachusetts, we'll let you go on a $50 bail. This person from that should not get any kind of bail and should have to get on a list and be in jail and have a problem. This girl's 13 years old. What are we doing? It's lucky the parents didn't pound him into the ground. I'm not so good at shooting my weapon, but shooting my gun, I'm an expert with my gun. I hope so. Look, when we point that at somebody, come on. And this is at a truck stop. It got shooting. I'm like, wow, I moved out. It was somewhere out west, too. So I'm like, boy, I moved out of Chicago for this, and Chicago followed me out here. Yosemite Sam, that was his name, right. Yosemite Sam, and a peer, right. That's what I assume is going on there. Oh, you dang gone rabbit. Unitard, I love black-footed tights. It'll be something in a trucking theme. So it'll be a trucking-themed unitard. George Wilson, I'm offended by a new Volvo car commercial that promises a leather-free environment. I love soft, supple Corinthian leather. Volvo and a lot of these foreign makes especially have the Mercedes has too. It's called MBEX. And they have leather that's not really leather. So it's made out of plant material. And it's supposed to be just as good as leather or whatever. But I don't know if it's just as good as leather or not. Volvo, you can get now luxury cars that are vegan basically inside. And that's what they're calling it. So it's leather-free interiors. So I have leather in both my cars. And as long as you treat it, it stays very soft. Real leather. So I recommend it. I'd have to see how this other stuff works. And I wouldn't know what to treat it with. Probably something you have to buy specially from Sweden. I need a teal Adidas tracksuit with a GP, with a teal GP Volvo. Right. That's maybe a tracksuit would be something I could wear down there. A teal unitard. Man, I need something trucking related and with the colors of the truck show because we're there for the truck show. At the last news I had on my channel is that they are not leaving until their demands are met. Okay, what are their demands? They met with senators in Washington and that's all that's been said. Yeah, Ted Cruz was there, but what are their demands? Okay, they're not going to go into our demands have to be met. I don't even know what their demands are. Do you know what their demands are? I mean, what are their demands? Hey, what's up, Paul Cruz? Yeah, I couldn't think of that guy's name on there. Freedom Convoy, after the fact, should have done it for fuel. Well, you don't have a right to fuel at any certain price, and the government has no right, at least in this country, to regulate the price of fuel in any way. So I wouldn't be for that at all. Whatever it costs is how much it costs. Yosemite Sam, right. Teal is always an extra, always a surcharge. That's always one of those special colors you got to pay for. Yet another recall on Kia seatbelt tensioners may explode. Oh, well, there's a little explosive device. People don't realize this in some seatbelt tensioners. When you get in an accident, it sets off the airbag. It also sets off a little explosion in your seatbelt to tighten them like that so that they hold you in place. So the tensioner, usually this is a humidity problem. So they have a leak or something where it lets water get in there and rust it, and then they can explode just randomly. Isn't that great? Scott Reel, hello from the Indiana state line. Hello. Indiana and what state line? My car is real leather just like the manhole. Isn't it soft and supple, especially after you treat it, liquid treat it? Louisiana has a bill of lading, BOL, out for a truck driver that was involved with a hit and run a few days ago that took the lives of 2 women that were in a Toyota Corolla. Really? Be on the lookout, I think, would be not a bill of lading. I didn't hear about that. Kiddie pool and a Speedo. That's not a good look. That is not a good look. In my younger days, I wore Speedos, but not anymore. Paul Cruz hasn't figured out what they want, and I watch often. Exactly. I don't know what they want. So they need to be more clear on what their demands are, because the demands can't be met if nobody knows what they are. We're keeping them a secret. Leggins, what insanity is this? Just wear long underwear. Well, I mean, I don't want to be at all crazy. I mean, this is going to be an active, listening session kind of thing for everybody. So, you need something that's going to give you range of motion. Vegan leather is treated with salad dressing. They call it vegan leather. They do. Volvo especially is big on that. The whole inside the car, no real wood anymore, no nothing. A ranch or Italian blue cheese, of course. GP Transco, the main demand by the truck convoy is to end all coronavirus pandemic-related restrictions. Okay. What does that mean, though? And what restrictions currently is the government imposing on them? Because that's who would be ending any restrictions, right? They're there to protest at the government. So what government restriction are they suggesting should be ended? I mean, how are you being restricted by the government? Government shouldn't regulate fuel, but they sure do get you free EV charging. I agree with you. They shouldn't do that either. They shouldn't give you a tax credit. They shouldn't give you free EV charging. None of that stuff. But they can't, certainly a protest for fuel, no way, because the government doesn't regulate the price of fuel here, and you wouldn't want them to, believe me. Scooters and wheelchairs are available to rent at Matt's per website. Okay, I didn't realize that. I didn't know they had them. Get there early, I would say that, if you want one of those. Since they do have them, be there early, or reserve it online if that's available to do. Tort law is complicated. If you use a truck line to move your merch, you better have proof you picked up the trucker based on safety over cost. Well, see, that's the problem with this truck. This truck that got put imminent out of service, they got no safer web. As far as I know, they didn't have authority to haul freight around. So it was totally cost. Totally cost. That's be the only way they could haul freight. Would be for small shippers and say, look, we'll do this for $2 a mile. But I just don't get it. The convoy is MAGA with trucks. The leader is a kook. I don't know. I don't know about that, who the leader is. Some teal shower shoes would be awesome. Wow. Do people still use those? I never used shoes in the truck stop showers. Call me a rebel. Never did. GP Transco won't comment on the convoy, only sharing their stated demand as published in the news outlets. Yeah, that's fair, right? I get it. I'm just wondering what exactly governmental coronavirus restrictions are imposed on people at the moment. I suppose cross-border would be restricted, I guess. But otherwise, pretty much free movement in the United States, as it always was. I was never prevented from doing anything, really. So I went to Rio 2 years ago for Christmas vacation. Not having wife, kids travel is easy, right? Everyone in Brazil wears a Speedo. That's true. I had a regular trunks, but he wears Speedo. And yeah, what are you trying to do? You look like a weirdo. Go get your Brazilian Speedo, which is smaller than the ones here. CW Carter, hey Mark, hey, what's going on? Jail travels. All right, the convoy demands are that the COVID vaccination mandates, which are to be done away with, okay, because it harms their jobs if they have to cross in and out of Canada and they want a choice and not being forced. Okay, I mean, that's the only place where there's really a mandate. I wonder how many of the drivers that are at the convoy actually are people that cross the border. That's interesting. How many of those people are actually being restricted by a coronavirus mandate? Mask mandates are someplace on airplanes and trains, Steel Horse. Public transport, because the sign is always up here on the buses here in town on City Bus, Lafayette's premier interurban bus service, that masks are required. That is true. So I guess truck drivers could not take a bus, a train, or a plane. So that's one way to do it. That's all that's left, right? So that's about it. Because it harms their jobs if they have to cross in and out of Canada, and that is the restriction that they want done away with. How many of them there are cross-border drivers? That's interesting. The end date for those was near the end of March, but it was moved to late April as far as we know. Right, yeah, they still have that, which is dumb, in my opinion, even though I'm not a doctor. It does. Even the CDC says, look, cloth masks do little to nothing. And you can still wear that and be in compliance. So that doesn't make any sense. But they're like, how do we make plane travel even worse than it already is? Stuffing a bunch of people in a plane. Oh, let's put them all in a mask. So I don't know about that. Does your company give you PTSD layover pay and counseling? No. In place of Convoy, just have a good portion of trucks sit for a day or two. No goods delivered. I guess so. I mean, if there'd be a reason to do that, I guess that'd be something drivers could certainly do. Otherwise, no reason for that. Now, I don't know how many drivers you'd get to do that. What do they have out there in D.C.? 100, 150 people, maybe? A couple of hundred people. There are not all of them semis either. A lot of cars out there. The courts have tossed out the mandates. The border one's still in place, right? But that's it. That's really nothing in the U.S. other than maybe at a local business like Tyson, where they can say you can't come on our private property unless you do these certain things. Other than that, and that's not being mandated by the government, so there's really nothing left for them to do. After everything's finished, then they go protest it. So, one hobo leather, is that what they call it at on Volvo now? Hey, this is the best hobo leather you'll ever see. I haven't been in a new Volvo in a long time. So, although the Jaguar dealer in Indianapolis is also a Volvo dealer, so maybe next time I pop in there, I could go see how those seats are, because the whole car, like the S90 especially, it's all vegan inside. No wood, no leather, no nothing. I'm like, wow, it's like a Chevy Spark. So pretty nice. There's nothing real at all in this car. GP Transco, we actually provide free access to counseling for our drivers. Okay. True story. Okay, so I guess there's some kind of employee assistance program, because there's a picture on there, and with the other things like minimum wage, your rights in the law, all that stuff. There's a sign there with a phone number, I guess you could call. So I guess theoretically you could get that kind of counseling. So if you needed it, I suppose. I asked the vice president if I could fly a Black Lives Matter flag on my truck. They said no. I said, because drivers have Blue Lives Matter flags on the pics on their Facebook. Checkmate. What'd they say then? They go, you know what? I thought you were going to change companies. That's what they go. Weren't you looking to move companies? That's how they get you, right? Oh, right. They asked a bunch of drivers. There was a survey. Would you prefer a diesel or a battery APU? And what do you think drivers said about that? So if I give them the choice, I would take a diesel one, just because it has basically an unlimited runtime depending on how much fuel I have. So that's what I would prefer on it. Where is everybody else at on that? Now, I have a carrier APU on my truck. It's currently not running right. I don't know. It turns itself off after a couple minutes, and it says check APU, so I don't know what's wrong with it. But it's a diesel-powered APU. GP Transco, right, they have a teal padded room. Call 1-800-TEAL room. Freedom fries later, hopefully. I don't like hypocrisy. Rules should be applied across the board, George Sanza. Most companies, at least that I see, certainly here, they would say, look, don't put anything on your truck that's political. Either way. They don't want one side president, the other side, they just don't want anything political on the trucks. They're like, we're just trying to haul freight around. Now, I think they go too far with it here, because they tell people, don't do anything for Christmas and don't say Merry Christmas to people, so they get a little bit crazy about it here. But because we don't want to offend anybody. But I just think that most companies are like, no politics here. We aren't aware of those, to be honest. We don't allow political statement type things on our trucks, GP Transco. Yeah, I think that's at most places would say no. Anything political, just no to that. Okay. Probably American flag, that's about it on a truck. Mental health is a big deal nowadays. Absolutely. I mean, totally. If you have mental health issues, you should go get it fixed. Go get some help for that. You can improve your life greatly. Maybe at this point, to prevent future mandates for anything in the U.S., any forced anything isn't good. That's something worth backing. Yeah, well, absolutely. The government should never force you into things. That's not what they're there for. Limited government, protect your rights. That's it. That enforced contracts, protect rights, nothing else. One thing I dislike about Indiana is the variable speed limits for trucks. They've tried to remove those for years, It went a couple of years ago. They talked about it again where it would be 70 for everybody, and then it disappeared again, and they weren't able to do anything. So absolutely. I would like to see it go to the same. I don't know why they do it. Maybe it's usually to get tickets to people that way. Not sure. I want to make sure, GP Transco, want to make sure, no, I didn't mean you guys. Mark had drivers to remove drivers had to remove the Blue Lives Matter flag. Oh, okay. That's what I figured, right? Look, because it's a political statement, right? So companies are going to be like, no political statements. I totally agree with that, right? American flags are allowed to fly, though. George Costanza, yeah. Can you imagine a company, if you say, can I put an American flag on the truck? And they're like, no, not really. And then that driver's like, oh, really? Let's call the news about that. So I do see company trucks with American flags on them, and generally that was probably okay. GP Transco, after conversation with Pilot, Flying J, and TA, they'll officially be doing a roundup for people of Ukraine in the upcoming weeks at all their stores. That's pretty awesome. How do you, I don't generally go in, so how do I participate in that? How would a driver participate in that? Do you go in and buy like just donate, or do you just get one of those wrist things? How is that going to work there? Wilbon, 1879. Good afternoon, Mark and Trucking Answers fans. Keep on trucking and keep the country running. We're trying to. Check in late, Trucking Bros. Yeah, time change. Gotcha. Actually, the only thing we allow are American flags and Armed Forces veteran stickers. Oh, that's pretty good, too. I saw a JB Hunt truck the other day that was had like stars and stripes on it and everything, and it was like all complete Army truck, basically. Army stickers and stuff, and it's a company truck, so I assume that driver is from the Army or whatever, so pretty interesting. Shock therapy and brain damage, just like Putin. I don't know if we want to do shock therapy on anybody around here. I prefer leeches. I think leeches are the new way that people will get most of their ailments fixed. That's what I'm predicting, because look, I've done a lot of studying on WebMD and stuff, and I'm basically almost a doctor in some countries, so that's the best policy. Leave the politics off the yard, GP Transco. Yeah, and I would say probably drivers may stick stuff on their truck, but I bet if they ask their company, a lot of stuff they have on their trucks, they wouldn't be allowed to have on there. I don't have anything on the truck here. Cartage Studios, my company does not allow American flags. Nothing political, even sports teams. I'm surprised they don't allow an American flag. I would ask them why not. Why won't you allow an American flag? I can see even sports teams of drivers forever fight about that. NASCAR numbers. Oh my gosh, political, I get that. But why not an American flag? Can we not all agree on that? Can I round up with my EFS card? Oh, that's good. There's no way a company would allow that, because you're basically using the company money then to donate, and the company would be making a political statement, the company that's paying on that EFS card. So that's not going to be allowed. But I'm thinking if the TA, because they do all this stuff usually with these wristbands and stuff, they do a lot of that at the TA, so I'm wondering if that's how it works there. Source, I asked them to remove me from any recognition. I don't need it or want it. I just want to be left alone. Oh, nice. Hey, just don't bother me, right? I prefer that as well, to be honest with you. They don't have to do anything. Just let me do my job and be done with it, really. Although this JB Hunt truck I saw was very Army. So that person was like, I'll take it, Latches already exist in D.C. What latches are those? Arm therapy at the tattoo shop. Nice. You can get some therapy there. Oh, leeches. But also let bloodletting to that. Oh, yeah. Why not just go right to the bloodletting, too? That's a good idea. Yeah, let's leech. Okay, leeches already exist in TC. They said the American flag could still be seen as offensive. See, I would probably have an email conversation with these people. I mean, come on. I'd say, really? Are you serious? What you should do, what I would do just to aggravate them, I'd put it on there, make them write to me to take it off, or write me up or something, so I have something in writing that I put an American flag on the truck, and then that would go right to TV18, which is a news station right here in beautiful Lafayette, Indiana, where I've been on the channel before. And I would absolutely get that out there, because, come on, who sees the American flag as offensive? Other countries? That's about it. And remember, you're so free here. Everyone here is free to move to North Korea anytime they don't like it here. So nobody is held here against their will or any other way, right? Pilot, by the way, is going to remodel 400 of their stores. Are going to spend $1 billion. $1 billion. Isn't that something? Matt's okay. Oh, so this driver, he's smuggling people. We're going into tankers now. Driver smuggling 62 illegals in from Mexico. And I just don't understand it. So he's got a day cab in this tanker, and they're in the tanker truck. He just bypasses one of those checkpoints. When you come across the border, then they have these checkpoints. He just blasts right through there. What does he think is going to happen? They go chase him down. The cops go run him down, right? The border patrol or whatever. And he just runs through them, hits a couple police cars. Eventually they shoot the guy. And there's 62 people in the trailer. What do you think is going to happen? You cannot just bypass, just blast by this place. You have to stop at the checkpoint. You have to stop. So I didn't know. And by the way, they said he had a long list of history of doing the same thing, of basically importing people illegally. Jail. Leeches really suck. Nice. OTR Nomad, sorry, your company is terrible. My company tells me I can put a flag in the truck. I would quit. I mean, I would certainly have an email conversation about them to get them to change their mind. That's kind of, to say that is just weird in the United States. No matter what the country's going through, generally an American flag is usually okay on a truck. Sorry for the misspell. Way to correct the word teacher. I learned something the other day. George Costanza. San Francisco pays homeless people up to $680 a month to not get arrested. Really? How do you do that? Where do you sign up for that? And is that a true story? I'll sign up for that right now. I guarantee during the next 30 days I will not get arrested in San Francisco if they give me $680. So how would that work? That's what I'm wondering about it. GP, thank you for being one of the companies that sent money to Ukraine. My company, UC, was also on Dragon 51. Yeah. Blues Trucker, if KLLM is at Mats, you should ask them about that 100,000 plus they're advertising. Oh, I plan to look those up and ask these companies, especially Western also, how do I make $130,000 a year at Western? That's what they're advertising. How do I go about doing that? I want that money. KLLM, well, it's easy at KLLM because you get so many miles. I mean, they have drivers running, 350,000 miles a year. So it doesn't seem to be as much of a problem there. Even at 50 cents a mile, I mean, you're making $180,000 a year at KLLM. So that's easy. That's easy. But at some of these other places, I don't know how they do it. I just saw a video from some driver who was making $700 a week at Western. So just went into the pilot to use the bathroom on exit 18 and 75 in Michigan. Guy was in the bathroom trimming his beard in the sink. Really? Who does that? Trimming his beard in the sink. Did he have like a whole manscaping thing out and everything? Where he's got the electric stuff and beard product. Is he a beard product and all that? Steel Horse, you can make 100 as a company driver. I don't know about KLLM, but it can be done. It can be at the right company, right? I think we agree to that. A KLLM, maybe. At the right company, yes, absolutely. Now I have plenty of people where it used to be just a very small trickle of people. Once in a while, somebody would send in a $2,100 check and go, look, I make this every week. Now it's a lot of people at the right places. I will tell you, I don't get people from Western writing to me saying, Mark, I'm making that 130 they advertise. I make it. Paul Cruz, I need to do that. I live 80 miles away from San Francisco. Hope I don't need my ID for the free 680. No, because it's wrong to ask you for identification. So absolutely not. They should just give it to you. Right? That stuff means special forces. So, okay, the special forces won't arrest me either. Rambo will not come out here. Oh, I forgot about that guy. There's the article. Okay, so from Toronto. Why did Toronto write it up? I just wonder how you sign up for it. UC are one of the bigger contributors. Really awesome to see so many companies coming together. His hair was everywhere. Some foreign guy. Don't understand why they don't just get showers. Dylan, yeah. Well, the other thing, then he'll do it in the shower and stop up the sink and everything. I mean, that I don't understand. So he's got all of his manscaping stuff laid out, beard product, beard oil and everything. He's got all that out too. I mean, really? And then we're just going to stop the sink? Is this person, that would aggravate me more, that they're letting all the hair go down the drain of the sink. That's probably what he was doing, and that I don't like. That stops up your sink. You saw a dude manscaping at a rest area. Let's just say it wasn't his chin hair. Paul Cruz, yikes. Plus, who wants to get that intimate at a rest area? I mean, who knows what's been going on there, much less a truck stop bathroom, really. GP Transco. Oh, they will simply say your coffee's $1.70. Would you like to round up to 2 and send the difference for humanitarian aid? Okay, that's fair. I'll have to go buy something in there then. Normally, I don't go in the truck stop for anything. I just get fuel and leave. So I would have to go in one. When is that going to start? Will that be started before the truck show at the end of next week? Because I'll be going in a couple of them back and forth there as normal stops on the way up and down from Louisville. So let's see when they get that kind of stuff started. And TA Petro, so I'll fuel to Petro, so perfect. But I don't go into Petro. I just fuel and leave. Like, do you want a receipt? I'm like, no, I don't want a receipt. They know how much it is. They get they'll get a bill for it, right? I won't have to do anything. So what is the deal then? Diesel or electric? I say on APUs. By the way, the vote was 82% of drivers favored a diesel APU over an electric APU. Perhaps for the same reason I do, which is it doesn't run out. 6 times you can have another coffee. Oh, nice. That's one way to look at it. Pilot Flying J commercial was released last week about them investing $1 billion in their driver facilities, featuring a GP Transco truck and our driver Brian Millsaps. Really? How'd you get into that? How did you finagle your way into that commercial? I mean, did they ask, or did you just say, hey, look, or did it just work out? Round up my weekly settlements. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Do you want to round up for this or round up for that? Because we tried that new Burger King Whopper melt this weekend. And Burger King finagled me into rounding up for some scholarship program. Would you like to round that up? I think it was like 23 cents or something. Would you like to round that up for scholarship? I'm like, I guess so. Then people can go to college and not have to work at this place. I didn't tell her that, but and she'd be like, well, what's the difference? It pays $18 an hour. So either way, so they got me to do that. So yeah, I think that would work. Does the manhole allow manscaping? Yeah, they have professionals there that will do it for you. They're really hands-on at the manhole. They do a lot of stuff for you there. For you and to you. George extends, I gave my Aussie a bath on Saturday at the Loves in Corning, California. He shed less hair and made less mess than some of the people bird bathing in the bathroom. Yeah, right. If you're shaving into the sink, where do you think you're just going to clog up the sink? What is going on? You got to block that off and take all that with you. What's the administrative fee? They keep 10% for themselves. No underwear would bother me more than the beard. Yeah, what are we doing? I mean, why is this like an emergency at a rest area? Like, oh my gosh, I better get all the downstairs shaved up immediately. Fortunately, there's a rest area in 7 miles. Plus, remember, that's somebody traveling that's got all this stuff with them. EPU's trash always has issues. I prefer a diesel one just for the fact that it'll run. So if I fill my tanks up, I can sit there and run somewhere for weeks at a time. Trucking Answers, we have a good relationship with Pilot Flying Chain. That's pretty good. They snagged into a commercial. That's pretty good. I didn't notice that. I'll have to watch that commercial. I would like to say thank you, Mark, for continuing to be an advocate for drivers. I really appreciate you, JP. Well, thank you very much. I can't do that without everybody here. It's the backing of everybody that gives me the power and energy to go do it. So thank you very much. If you're at the truck show, be sure to say hello. And I don't know what everybody looks like, so you got to come up to me. I have one on my truck. It works great, but it's not consistent. APUs are better. Yeah, not as loud though, because when this carrier on my truck runs, it's really loud for the couple minutes that it works. But I think then if they would actually fix it, it would work a lot longer. Of course, the electric one, you don't need a service. People are pigs on so many hygiene things, and they don't think about the next guy. Paul Cruz, it's just disgusting that you would do that. The rest area one is even worse. Why are you shaving into the sink? Can you not do that somewhere else? I mean, come on. And plus, you have all your product out there, too. 2 for $5 in upstate New York at the BK. Oh, not on the melts. I don't think, maybe. The melts were not on sale here. So, they're good. By the way, the new Whopper melt, delish. Okay, smaller than a Whopper also. Keep that in mind. They use Whopper Junior patties. That's my review of the Burger King melt. Whopper melt, good. Only tried the one. They have 3 different kinds. But good. Not as big as a Whopper, but delicious. And round up, apparently. Robert Hines, I was asked if the company will match my roundup, and they never do. They go, no, we're not matching. Some do. Don't shave drunk, you might stumble over yourself. Be careful with especially if you're using a straight razor. We need to see the commercials for the many locations of the manhole. Well, they are franchise, each as independently owned and operated. Mark needs to wear teal at Matt's. Being full teal, head to toe teal. I was thinking something that color changes depending on how the light hits it. So I thought that might be a little bit better. And of course, it has to be loose for Saturday for the interpretive dance portion, which will go right after the conga line that we're going to do there. Did everybody change their clocks too? If you're not changing your clock right here in Indiana, it's 2:02 p.m. Please change your clocks if you are an hour behind. Those clocks went up yesterday. They made a big deal about it here. Intel says it wants to help with the chip shortage too. People can't get their trucks fixed. They can't get their APUs fixed. They can't get anything fixed because we can't get chips. They said right now it's like 29 weeks to get a delivery. Intel says, look, we'd love to help. If only the government would help us fund stuff, we could get stuff done. I would tell Intel to get lost, and we're not buying your stuff from China anymore. That's how you get Intel to make stuff in the United States. That's, I think, how they do it. Paul Cruz, always Carl's Jr. hamburger. Well, I don't have a Carl's Jr. here, which would be a Hardee's. And they didn't have a new burger. So they didn't have a new burger to try. So that was worth trying. Over-the-road truck driver, I'm basically homeless. I need to sign up for that. Yeah, you're homeless. And you're probably not going to commit a crime this next month in San Francisco. I can't believe they pay people not to commit crimes. That's going to be the dumbest thing ever. That's just so stupid. So what if the pay goes down? What if the funding goes to 500? Can somebody commit one misdemeanor then because they reduce the pay? Or Hardee's on the East Coast. Yeah, we have Hardee's, but they didn't have a new burger. Steel Horse, I asked for the melt and they gave me the Whopper. I was like, okay, try it next time, I guess. At a different BK because I'm not coming back to this one. Yeah, why wouldn't they give you the melt? It was actually more money than a Whopper. I think it was $6 each here, to be honest with you. I think they were $5.99 a piece. So they're more money and not quite as big. The computer changed the clock for you weird. Yeah, most things change to their own time now. 6:30 is the best time. That's pretty early. Depending on maybe if it's the night one, we could almost do that one. But not during the day. I wonder what do cats think about time changes anyways? There was actually a study, they actually did a study that said people are more likely to have a stroke during time changes. I didn't understand it. Why does a time change of an hour give people strokes? But there are more strokes today apparently than other days of the year, which didn't make sense to me, but hey, maybe I didn't learn that lesson yet on WebMD. Did you see Cash King video? Several pallets of produce just dumped at a truck stop. Must be no cameras there. Yeah, people just dump stuff out of the back of their trucks and don't care because the company says, well, do whatever you want with it. And most drivers will not take the time to donate it, which is what they should do with it. The company won't pay you to go donate it, and so people throw it out. I get it, and it's not a good way to do it. If nothing else, could you go to a truck stop maybe and call a local food pantry or food shelter in the, something like that in the area and say, look, I have this food. I'm going to be here. Can you come and get it? All right. Maybe they'll send a truck to go get it. I know food finders here in Lafayette will come and do that kind of stuff. They have trucks. I actually looked into driving there at one point, but they have their own straight trucks. They have a semi too. So maybe they would do it. It's worth calling around rather than letting food go like that. I mean, people could use that food. People could use it. Well, let's try to think, what can I do for this to help somebody else? Money's way better than a hard time. It is. But you know what? You should just not commit crimes because you shouldn't commit crimes. I think. Not just because they're paying you. If they stop paying people, are they going to go commit more crimes? After 2 months waiting for the part, I'm back on the road. Yeah, see, that's the problem. And Intel says they'd love to help if only the government would give them some money. We'll make chips here, but we need the government to be part of it. I'd say, well, how about we don't import them from any other country? So if you want to sell them here, you have to make them here. So if you buy a pickup truck during the time change, you're more likely to have a power stroke. Wow. That's an interesting way to get Ford in on it. But yeah, that's good. By the way, some cars are being sold without some features. GM eliminated heated seats from some of their vehicles. They said when they get the chips in, you can come back in and they'll turn them on. They'll put a chip in to turn them on. I'm like, I wouldn't buy it. Some people went all winter without heated seats and, the $70,000 pickup truck or whatever because they didn't have a chip for it. People that stroke out are not real truck drivers. Nice. Yeah, I get to dispatch today, Captain Flatbed. Isn't dispatching fun? You get to talk to all the drivers. I always thought, it'd be great to be a dispatcher. Then I thought, oh, no. Now I have to talk to 30 of me. So I didn't think that'd be great. Dylan, what's your car review channel called? Car review is Stretch, I would say. So it's just under Mark Rumps, RUMPS, and a new video went up yesterday, of course, and which I try to do. Probably 45 videos a year go up there, one car a week, usually. And I walk around a car that I find and talk about it and give my opinion. It's not exactly Shakespeare over there, but I like doing it. So I get extra stop pay, and they find a place to donate it. Win-win. Oh, so they pay you, which they kind of should because you're taking your time up. And it gets to be donated, which it should. I mean, I would donate it anyway if I could. If there's some way to get somebody to come and get it or something, let's get the food. Let's get food donated. I mean, rather than just throwing it out. Student is driving. We're loaded at 78,000 with lumber out of Reading. Wow, headed to Knoxville. 2,579 loaded miles. I just don't understand it. My student gets to see Donner Pass for the first time. Wish us luck. That's super great. And across 80, it should still be nice and snowy out there, too. That's awesome. It's daytime out there, so you got it made. You'll be in Reno, Sparks in no time. Been a long day already, I bet. I mean, I just would not want to talk to me all day. 2 months layover pay. Oh, well, I will tell you, if they don't have anything for you to do, you should get paid. So I think so. That's my opinion. Otherwise, what would somebody do? I mean, nobody's going to wait 2 months to keep their job. So they either need to find you another truck or something. You can't just sit around for 2 months, right? I'm still saying 15 to 20 a day for on-duty time. I guess it depends how much time you're on duty each day, too. What's his face from Oquendo just was in some kind of panel with the government, of course, and he was the only truck driver, and he talked about waiting 40 hours a week to be loaded and unloaded. And I thought, man, that is a lot of time. I never waited that kind of time. Not every week to be loaded or unloaded, but I always took longer loads. Maybe if you were with Oquendo, you'd be more likely to be an owner-operator and take shorter loads that paid more, so you're loading and unloading more. I don't know. I cannot imagine spending 40 hours a week loading and unloading loads. Oh, it's sunny on Donner today. Oh, so no issues. It's daytime. It's sunny. Let the signs still up there. Let them roll. Let those brakes cool. With all those signs up and down there. Yeah, greatest thing ever. What do you think of the channel for Cars with Scotty? I love Scotty. Scotty Kilmer. Right. Hilarious. Funny. Mechanic. He's been a mechanic many years. He does like Toyotas, like maybe a little too much. Like, Toyota's paying him or something. I don't know. But, yeah, absolutely. Opti-idle is okay as long as the parameters are set right and no problems exist in the system. Oh, Opti-idle? I don't like Opti-idle because it starts the truck and then runs the truck to like 8,000 RPM for 15 minutes and then sets the truck off. And especially in the summer in, say, Houston, it's never enough to keep the humidity out of the truck because during the off time, you're not getting any air conditioning. And so as the temperature goes up in the truck, then it gets too humid in there and too sweaty. I don't like it. And your neighbors don't like it either. So I don't like it. And I said duty. That's true, right. How much does Donner Pass cost? It doesn't cost anything. Donner Pass is free. I-80. So Donner Pass. That's good. There may be people that don't know that, though. So I'm just saying. Matt's March 27th, 24, 25, 26. I have to keep saying Matt's to get people to come to Mid-America Truck Show this year. Make it the greatest truck show ever. Okay? Because it's our 50th anniversary. I'll be speaking there on the 26th. Come and say hello. Please, no tomatoes. I'm asking people only bring blueberries to throw at me because tomatoes are too hefty. And I don't want to just get pelted with tomatoes for an hour. So if you had some kind of smaller fruit, maybe raspberries or something like that would be better. I'd really appreciate it. No super soakers, please. People will be searched. What does a driver have to do to get a cat break? We just had a cat break. We can get another cat. How about this cat? Oh, Enigma. How about that furry cat? Because Gracie was just scratching over here on her scratcher. So she's up and about, probably almost brunch time for her. She has breakfast, then brunch, then lunch, then another brunch, and then dinner, and then brunch, late brunch, and then she'll have a snack, a late night snack, and then second dinner. Oh, one of the things I love this in the new bill, I'm going to have these as we go along, that new infrastructure bill, how about $1 million for grid equity? Yeah, they got to bring all the earmarks back in the bills, so I got to go through them. The Northeast Grid Equity System, $1 million. They're going to study why different races of people have different access to the power grid. That's $1 million of tax money. Because, as the quote says, power is racist. And they mean the power grid. Yes, that's $1 million of your money will go to that. I should get one of those each week if I can remember to do that. Kevin, I wish I could join you at the truck show. Hey, maybe next year. Maybe Dallas. We'll see. Somebody's got to pay me to go to Dallas, though. But maybe Dallas. It's a 2,000-mile round trip. So maybe Dallas, but certainly Louisville every year. I'm at Louisville every year. Also Walcott. So look to Walcott. That's it. Second week of July. Nobody was going to go last year, so I ended up not going. But if somebody's going to Walcott, I'll go to Walcott this year. The Truckers Jamboree, check that out. See if you want to go to that. If we can get some people there, we'll come out there. But I go to Louisville every year. Rusty Jones from Rusty Jones Rust Proofing is the owner of the manhole on Halstead. Oh, right. See, he's independently owned and operated. Is that a Norwegian forest cat? I don't know what kind of cat that is. Is Gracie a good mouser? Well, we don't have any mice. So she will look at a bug that's flying around. I will say that. If I get a stink bug or whatever, she'll look at it. I will bring my B12 vitamins, but I will not throw them. Oh, right. They're too expensive. That'd be something useful to throw. I'm just saying something smaller than a tomato. I mean, I can't just stay in there for an hour and get pelted with tomatoes. So if it was something smaller, I was thinking, blueberries or something like that. Maybe raspberries, something smaller. Do hemorrhoids count as natural bloodletting? Aha. Is farmer erased because their internet is bad? Steel horse. Well, yeah, that's the thing. It seems like rural, right, would be the worst at this. But what do I know? I'm not the one studying this, right? There were plenty of these earmarks to go around, so nobody can come on and say, well, this side or that side had plenty of them. It didn't seem to matter. Both sides put in plenty, so it wasn't like a political thing. Remember, the Fed government paid $700,000 to a college for a study on whether glaciers are sexist. George Costanza. What did they find out? What was the results of that study? I would like to know. I would like to read the results of that. John, 30-minute DOT break almost over. Isn't it nice of them to let you rest? Now that I'm tired, let me get moving down the road. Ban the break. Yeah, how about you just... I would even go along with that. Since they're saying 14 hours, then use your 14 hours however you want. It's your time. Use it how you want to use it. If you drive all of it, one thing. If you work all of it, however you want to do it. Maybe cherry tomatoes, Bobby. Yeah, okay, I could go along with cherry tomatoes because they're still smaller. Those are kind of hard. So we don't want things. I want kind of things that are going to bounce off me a little bit. So we don't want to get, I don't want to get injured and have to do some kind of claim or something. So I'm trying to get some kind of smaller, smaller, like we don't want pomegranate seeds are small, but they're kind of hard. I got a Norwegian maple tree in my backyard. You can have it for free. Oh, wow. Would that go along with the Norwegian forest cat? I'm not sure. How do you get a Norwegian cherry tree? Is that what that was? Where'd that go? Oh, maple tree. What is a Norwegian maple tree anyways? Steel horse, I don't think I could throw things at you. I just don't have it in me. Oh, believe me, after you sit there for a few minutes and listen to me, you'll be like, where's the fruit stand? And that's the thing. That's the thing of it. There's probably going to be like one of those Italian fruit stand carts right by where I am. And that's going to be a real problem. The guy with the big Luigi's going to be out there selling with the big mustache. Hey, I got all the fruit. And I'm like, oh my gosh, do you have to set up right here? Oh, well, this is where they told me to set up. And so that is going to be a real problem. Hopefully he has all small fruit. I'm going to have to buy all the fruit off his fruit stand. Like watermelons? Or I'm like, you have to sell watermelons? Oh, there's the link. All right. So I mean, I want to know. They probably are. I assume they are. Earmark's not a political thing, just straight out theft. Yeah, really. And it was across the board. It wasn't like one side, oh, it's only these people. No. They're both got their hand in the cookie jar for that one. Oh, beets are out of question. Oh my gosh, beets. I don't even like beets. I mean, is there any good use in the country of a beet? Other than putting it on the roads here in Indiana where they mix it with the salt, I think that's really the only good use of a beet. Yeah, it's huge. That's the problem. Oh, an artisanal tomato. No, they're too expensive. Don't waste that kind of money throwing things at me. I only get free things. Maybe go out behind Cassius King Trucking and pick up all the stuff that's laying around out there. That's probably what'll happen. I'll get like rotten lettuce and stuff thrown at me that somebody threw out in a garbage can at the local pilot. Oh my gosh. Pig Band, thanks for another great show, Mark. Well, I appreciate it. You know, we can only do this show because everybody is here, and we're probably 3.5 years of these straight. So on Mondays, really something, and it all comes down to next week. Scott Hall, aka Razor Ramon, about to be taken off life support. Drip to the bad guy. I don't know who that is. Is he from the Ramones? Charles Contreras, right? Is he like one of the Ramones? You know, the rock group from the 80s. Is that who I'm thinking? Do I prefer organic? Well, yeah, I mean, I don't want all that, all that artificial stuff in there. Absolutely. Although the fruit should have to be vaccinated. People could bring you super manhole panties, recycling at its best. Oh, right. Yeah, that's great. I didn't know Scott Hall was in the hospital. Yeah, I didn't know who that is. How about grapes? Yeah, not the ones with pits, though. We don't, let's keep the pitted grapes out of there. Green grapes, maybe, something like that. Something small. Beets makes music. That'd be the only thing they're good for. I can just imagine getting pelted with beets. How did the talk go? They pelted me with rocks and garbage. Beets and rocks. Right, flying at me. And I'm like, it's not even 11:15 yet. Danny, okay, don't laugh at me. What is the manhole? I thought the manhole was a bar you guys go to. Yeah, it's Lafayette's premier nightclub, downtown Lafayette. Entry only in the rear because of a zoning ordinance. So everyone's welcome, though, to come down to the manhole. I do have a Village People cover band that we do down there on some Saturday nights. Come on down. They get free DOT physicals, too. Pretty nice of them. All that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. George Costanza met Scott Hall at Waffle House. Really? He said, hey, yo, to him. He shook my hand and gave me an autograph. Legendary man that had his demons. I don't know who it is. Am I right? Is this somebody from the Ramones? Maybe they should study who comes up with these bright ideas to pay thieves not to commit a crime. Alex, have you ever heard of a dumber thing than that? Let's pay people $680 so that they don't commit crimes. How about no to that? And they wonder why nobody wants to live there. Forgot about manscaping and hand wash. I've seen some Middies people washing their feet in the toilets. I don't know which one's worse. Why would you put your foot in the toilet to wash your foot? That's gross. TZT Logistics. Yellow Freight, recruitment recruiter, absolutely the worst experience ever. Really? They're forever trying to hire people. What was their deal? So you say that what makes them the worst? What is the problem? Do they not answer your questions? It should be an easy thing. I don't know why recruiting is so hard. A driver calls you, they must be interested. Okay, so that's already the first good sign. Answer their questions if they want answered, and bingo, you have a driver. It shouldn't be any more complicated than that. Michael Jackson said, beat it. And look what happened to him. Somebody pelted him with a beet. And then, there we go. Watermelon. Yeah, that'll be the thing. By 11:30, the big fruit comes out then. Yikes, watermelons. Where'd you find that? Basically saying like 1 hour of on-duty time. That makes sense. Peas. Okay, yeah. Let's now cooked peas especially. That's something we can get along with. Right. Oh, he was a WWE wrestler. Okay, so I don't know who. Was that the guy that had the heart attacks then? I did read about a wrestler that had heart attacks, but I didn't know who it was. Thought to all you Gibson guitars, not Beats. Well, I have my John Paul guitar, or whatever it is, RuPaul, whichever kind of guitar it is. It's kind of pink, so I think it's a RuPaul. I'm not sure. Get pelted with cats. Now that, I could go along with that. Bring a bunch of cats and throw them at me. That I'm okay with. So I end up with 40 cats at the end of it. That'd be great. I could come like cats from the theater. That'd be even better. Here's the thing. There's 60 seats. That's what they told me. The room will have 60 seats. So if even one person comes, that would be great. But I don't know how many people will be there. So, and there's standing room, I guess, also. So hopefully there's 60 people. If not, come by at least and say hello while I'm there. You have made Mondays great again. Kevin, I appreciate it. Hopefully I'll make a Saturday great down there. A parsnip. Oh my gosh. I'm like, this is a fake potato. Stop throwing fake potatoes at me. The wife forever trying to get me to eat them. She's like, they're just like a potato. I'm like, well, then why don't I just eat potatoes? How about that? We don't see anybody selling fried parsnips at, with their Burger King sandwich. George Costanza, Scott Hall was a wrestler in the 80s to 2000. Really? Was he with, like, Dick the Bruiser or any of those people? He and Kevin Nash changed wrestling when they went to WCW and became the NWO. They're the Monday Night Wars, and the same guy that had heart attacks. All right, so I didn't know him because I don't follow wrestling, but I did read, it was in the news, that a wrestler had like 3 heart attacks, like pretty close together, and was in critical condition. So that must be the person I saw in the news. So that's terrible. It's terrible for anybody that dies, him or anybody else. So absolutely. That's why I always encourage people. You never know when that last day is for you, even though it seems, oh, that's all creepy. It is true. That day's coming. Here we go at a driver. Right, where'd this guy go? I wrote this down, right? Driver is found in his day cab. So company, he was hauling ammonia. Didn't make his delivery. Company locates the truck, calls the police. They go to the truck stop. This is just a couple hours that he's late. They go find him. He's dead in the cab of the truck. So just died right there. They don't know what happened to him. No foul play or anything, but hey, that day comes. So go get done what you need to get done immediately. Are strawberries in season? Well, see, they're kind of big, and especially if they're not in season or they're not like ripe yet. Those that are partially green, they're kind of hard. I mean, I'm probably gonna have to wear some kind of safety gear. Cats and parrots. Oh, yeah, throw a bunch of blue parrots at me. That'd be great. It's going to be a great speech equivalent to the Gettysburg Address. Yeah, something that will not long be remembered, as Abraham said. We'll not long remember this day. So why don't they pay lot lizards not to commit criminal activity? Well, that's a good idea. Why don't just pay them? Why are they arresting them all? Just give them money. How much you make every day? All right, we'll give you $200 a day not to commit crimes. Why don't they do that with all criminals? They should just pay everybody. How about just pay everybody not to commit a crime? Danny was the guy who was caught lying when you sent the high tracks, and they said he was friending all night. I'm way off of that one. Big shavers won't hurt. Yikes. Big shavers that are still attached to the wall, though. So they come up and then they go back because they're attached. If you hit a truck or Mark, we'll get you some watermelon, then you can do the Gallagher bid. Oh, everybody in the front has to buy a raincoat from me. Right, that would be good. Yikes, people will be like, yikes, look at this. All the people in the front row have to buy a raincoat. Boy, and then I get sued by Gallagher. Remember when they were doing his show and he sued his brother or whatever? Remember that? That's why we are... No, it wasn't him. It was the other guy. But right, he sued his brother for doing basically a fake show. Wasn't he the one that did that? I think so. Yeah, Gallagher sued his brother. Made him stop doing some kind of Gallagher 2 show or whatever it was. But that driver was found in a day cab. They just called the police, and then there he was, just sitting in the cab. Fortunately, he hadn't festered there for several days, which is even worse. So we don't want that. If they're paying people not to commit crimes, how would the truck company CEOs make money? Oh, let's pay drivers not to go over their hours. And I think the way you do that is just pay people by the hour. And anything that's not logged, then you wouldn't get paid for. So people would log, everybody would log everything legally and make sure that all the time they sit would all be legal and all that. That is one way to do it. Although I'd like to see people get paid for all their time. Any truth to the rumor that you'll be disclosing where you work at the seminar because you're going to need more than 60 seats? Ha! What is going to happen probably like they do at a restaurant where they sit you at a large table. Then they come and take, 4 seats away and the plates and stuff. So I think probably by 11:17 they'll be in there going, oh, you don't need 58 of these seats. So we need them for these other people that actually have people coming. And so they'll be coming and taking all the seats out of there. That's probably what happens. 6 minutes and counting. George Costanza, DDP saved Scott. Gave him a lot of years of sobriety. He was a great man that had demons. That's everybody, right? He got clean and became someone who overcame addiction. He has a lot of people left to help. He has a lot of people left to help. Sad day. Yeah, look, it's always sad. And let's hope that his time was enough, because now his time's up. And that's for everybody. The Rocky Horror Picture Show. I should come like that, maybe. Like Tim Curry. That'd be good. That'd be good. If we could just move, if you want us to mark, no fruit needed. Well, look, if people are going to come, they're going to be so mad. That's why I'm saying they're going to be like, look, this cannot happen. We cannot believe. That's what I assume the truck show will be thinking also. They'll probably be the ones pelting me. The first will be the people that run the truck show. Hey, what is going on here? I'm like, hey, wait a minute. You run this truck show. We've been talking. We've been emailing back and forth. Yeah. And he's like throwing it official truck show fruit, right? It's got like the logo on it. A tomato with the truck show logo on it. No matter how you pay drivers, they'll be cheating. I don't understand it. If you are being paid by the hour, why would you run? I guess to get more hours. So you would work more to get more hours. But the solution to that is companies could just control the log tighter and not let you run over hours or whatever. Are you going to YouTube your speech? Bobby Frierson. No. The answer to that was no. You can't do that because if people walk by, there could be other music in the background or whatever. So no, we're not going to be doing any of that. So that's not going to work, right? Sorry. That's just because of the way they work on YouTube and stuff, it's not going to be allowed. So we cannot do the YouTube on the speech. Let's see. Where did I go off to here? Oh, right. But I also want to say, let's see here. Are you going to have your presentation online? It might be recorded audioly. We'll see how that works out. And it may go as a podcast, but I'm not sure. Yeah, Chris Spear will probably be there too. I'm like, hey, that guy in the back looks like Chris Spear. He's got like on the fake glasses, nose and the mustache, those he's wearing. I'm like, wait a minute. I just saw you at the ATA booth. And you're with the guy that's running the truck show. What is happening? Don't forget, if you wear it, to make it a parrot, always. Even at the truck show, come down like the other drivers, have a parrot on. That's me. People don't know that. That's me right there in the late 90s as a baby, wearing an early Blue Parrot 10 model right there. So that's good. Yeah. That's me in the late 90s. GP Transco was here today, and I want to thank them for being here. And we'll look into how that works at the truck stop, so let me know. It's pretty good that you get on their commercial. Hey, you want to be treated with respect? Why don't you give GP Transco a call? They'd love to talk to you, and they have a recruiter that actually knows about driving because he's a driver. So that would really be good. And Jay, although he's not going to be at the truck show, go check Jay out over on YouTube. All right, Jay. So there we go with that. And please come down to the truck show and say hello. I'll be there 25-26. And next week, I will know where I'll be on 25 and 26, so I'll have more info for that. And even, will Gracie be at the truck show? I don't think so. I don't think Gracie's going to be at the truck show this year, so that's, she will not be there. So we are going to head out on here. Going to be starstruck seeing you up there on stage. Oh, I don't know about that. So I appreciate it. I'll be happy to see everybody there. Believe me. It's one thing to see everybody here in a chat, but to see everybody in person will be really great. So I hope everybody will come down there. And I do want to reiterate, right? They're not paying me to come down or anything. So it isn't like, oh, I'm being paid or whatever. I want to come down there to help the truck show and to see everybody. So I'm at the show every year, including this year that they're open. Hope to see everybody there. I failed as a motivational speaker. I couldn't get anybody to show up. Look, if you say it, they will be there. So and I want to thank Aviator Trucker for being here today. Dylan was here today, which I appreciate. I had first Joan Harper earlier, and George H.W. Bush and Glitter Sparkle were here today. First, later today. John Zay Black was here. Thank you very much for being here. Chris was here. Bobby Frierson, thank you for being here today. I appreciate it. Mark Lindquist, thank you for coming. JP, John Zay Black. Let's see. Oh, George Costanza was here with the longest flatbed runs. I just don't understand it. I should have started there years ago. Believe me. I think it would have done better on the road. Wilbon 1879, thank you for being here today. So we're going to head on out. Alex, thanks for coming here. And hey, if you do strawberries, at least make sure that they're ripe. Chris 76, appreciate it. Kevin was here today. John Emma was here. So let's see here. Charles Contreras was here today. So I thank you for that. TCT Logistics, thanks for coming in today. Kevin was here. It's Mr. Plow was here. Pigpen, thank you for being here. Steel Horse, I appreciate it. See you at the truck show, maybe. Maybe we'll see somebody there. Anyways, and we're gonna head on out as it goes. Captain Cleaner Wiener, thank you for being here. And so we're doing this over here, and we're headed on out. So thanks for being here today. There'll be more news and stuff going on this week, getting ready for the truck show, but there'll still be